All right, we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Nerd Pub. I just thought I'd do a little fun little live stream hangout, and it's been kind of a little different now because me and some of our mutual friends have gone back to work recently, so we've just been kind of adjusting to that, and it's quite an adjustment since it's been months since we've gone back to work. But I'm going to have a couple of guests on my show. I have one on right now, and I have another one joining me later. We have Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions. Hey man, thanks for coming on tonight.
Hello, thanks for having me on, Adam. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Thanks for joining. Now Jeremy has something he was wanting to say. So before we get started with like all of our new books and everything, he asked if he could kind of give us his thoughts on this particular topic, and I said sure. So Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Okay, So there's been a lot of drama in the Star Wars community lately. I won't get into it on here. I just want to put out a statement. I don't want to be involved in your drama. Adam doesn't want to be involved in your drama, and neither do any of our friends. So I typically leave. I don't delete videos. I like to have. I think of YouTube as like a time capsule of here's my opinions back 5 years ago versus here's my opinions now. And it's kind of fun to wax nostalgic when you go back through. So I don't delete videos for that reason. If I was wrong, then it can show that I was wrong for something. With that being said, I don't like when people have arguments in my comments section for videos that came out almost like half a year ago, who continuously fight with each other in the comment section for a week. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you two have a problem with one another, and one of you is not an issue here, and you know exactly who you are because you've tried to stop this from happening. And I thank you. Even though we don't get along with things, I very much appreciate that. If you two have a problem with one another, take it up privately, which is what I should have done instead of making that video. So learn from my mistakes and don't do that. That's all I have to say. Also, if you're trying to contact any of us, since we've been super busy with work and we don't respond immediately, don't take it personally. Don't send about 20 messages because you couldn't get a hold of us. It's nothing personal. We are super busy. I know I started back at work and I am prepping to move out of this place. So I'm trying to get stuff together, see what I'm going to take with me, what I'm going to get rid of. And also we have Dragon Slayer to read.
No, yeah, I've been a little behind on that. I still got to catch up, but no, you make a really good point, Jeremy. I mean, we're doing all this for fun, you know, just because we enjoy it. We enjoy talking about Star Wars and everything else. And but yeah, you know, you're totally right. And like I personally also try to make a point to answer as many questions as I can. So so if I miss it by chance, I apologize for that. It's not intentional. So, but no, you are. But yeah, we do respectfully ask all of our viewers and subscribers, you know, just come watch our channel, just have fun. You know, that's all we want.
And if you want to share your opinion about something and you put it in the video, that's much appreciated.
Yeah,
I have nothing wrong with it, and I'm not going to. I'm not trying to crap on anyone. You know, I appreciate that people are outspoken. I really am. If you weren't, that'd be censorship. And I don't stand for that. As can rants are a testament to, you know. So, you know, if you want to share your opinions, I have a video of where you can contact me and stuff, rather than fight with each other in the comments section. It's not healthy.
Yeah. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to throw that out there, getting started. But all right, now for all the nerdy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, we got Rob D joining us. Hey, Rob D. He said, "Hey, what's up? Finished Dawn of the Jedi. Took me 2 weeks to finish it. Nice. I hope I'm interested to hear what you thought of it. I was gonna say I finished it in a week because I have the Overdrive app, and it gives me the option to finish it in like 7 to 9 days, I think. And I accidentally chose 7, so I'm just like, oh, I got to finish this. So, um, not a fan of it, but I didn't think it was all that horrible. But I mean, I know some disagree with me. I mean, Jeremy doesn't, but
I enjoyed it, and I'll branch out a little further in why I liked it. You have to understand that last year, and I've said this so many times, was one of the worst years of reading books I've ever had. It was like for every one good book, 10 were awful. And it was in both canons that this happened in. Mainly New Canon. I think New Canon released one good book that I would say is genuinely a good book and not like on the gradient scale of it's less terrible in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm just gonna put that out there because I've been really thinking about this. Like when you tear your room apart, you have to think about something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people disagree with me on Dawn of the Jedi. When I had read Dawn of the Jedi, I had just finished reading at the time every adult New Canon book. Specifically, I had just finished Dark Disciples, which I consider, it's the worst Star Wars book I've ever read. Period.
Dark Disciples.
Dark Disciples.
I don't think I haven't gotten to that one yet.
It was, well, you have to also take into perspective, I love Quinlan Voss, and I love John Ostrander's story arc for him throughout the Star Wars that turned into Star Wars Republic comic series. And that's not John Ostrander's character. That's Filoni's mockery of the character as written by Christy Golding, who I don't think is a particularly good author as is, but it was just disrespectful. In fact, specifically giving people credit for the character like Dave Filoni and Katie Lucas when neither of them created the character was incredibly disrespectful. Yeah, John Ostrander actually tweeted out saying that wasn't his character.
Let's see. Rob D says he did not like it, and he kind of says 2 weeks is a long time for him to read a Star Wars book, and he normally finishes a Star Wars book in 5 to 6 days. Well,
yeah, it's a bit long-winded. I just thought it was different. The way it was written was kind of refreshing, and I also listened to the audiobook, and I think the audiobook makes the difference.
Yeah, I did that too. And it's just, and I said this in my review, I'm just tired of the family stuff. Like, I mean, I know it was supposed to add conflict but it's just, we've seen it like so many times, and I'm just like, but well, Jeremy, you mentioned that you're in the process of moving, and but I was going to ask, you got any other upcoming projects coming up?
Okay, well, we got to talk about the gear malfunction.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to you privately about. So my camera, my Sony A6300, the audio jack where I plug in my shotgun mics, died. Like, and it didn't completely die. It's worn out, and it won't give me clear audio with 3 microphones. But, which I can plug into my GoPro, and they sound fine. Which that's really, really bad. So I can't film anything right now. So I've brought back Backpedalers podcast from the grave, and we have 2 episodes of Backpedalers coming out, as well as I think, I don't know. There might be we were in the talks of doing a Legends podcast, but I don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning you wanted to do another episode soon. So yeah, hopefully we can get that recorded.
Yeah, it's all has to do with Geeks Addict dealing with that tile.
Oh yeah, he's been
That's part of the problem.
Doing some home stuff. Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I've been trying to fix some things up in my house too, and I'm falling way behind, and I got a lot of stuff. And I just recorded a podcast with a couple of my friends recently. It's kind of the part 2 of the Disney one.
Oh,
yeah, it's not going to be as long, and I'm still in the process of touching it up. But Let's see. I'm gonna be working on a review for this week. I did finish an article, and I'm just, and there's something else I'm wanting to do. I got so much stuff.
You obviously want to do the watch along with me when we watch Hellraiser.
Oh, Hellraiser! I've actually never seen Hellraiser, so when are you planning on doing that?
I don't know. I might do it this weekend, or next weekend. I'm not sure which.
Okay.
I was going to do a Death Wish watch along, but this is not the time to watch something like that in these troubling times. So I figured let's watch the most fantasy horror thing I can think of, and that's also super disgusting. And let's watch some Hellraiser and maybe Hellbound Hellraiser 2, the only good sequel. Because I just sat and watched all 10 Hellraiser movies because I didn't know there were 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
there are?
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's like Saw. Good Lord. Or
yeah, actually, I think there's more Hellraiser movies than Saw movies.
Dang.
I think we're about to get the 9th Saw movie. But they've been straight to DVD since Hellraiser 5.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all from 3 on is just awful to various degrees. I thought Hellraiser 10 was better than Hellraiser 9 because Hellraiser 9 was what we call not a film.
No.
Hellraiser 10 is borderline not a film, but it has some interesting concepts in it. It's so weird. Half of the Hellraiser filmography, the movie started out not being Hellraiser scripts and then got converted to Hellraiser scripts in like the worst ways possible.
Oh man. Well, I was gonna ask, did you get any new books recently?
Books? No, I've been trying not to do that since I'm moving.
Oh, I can see.
I got some new lenses for my phone. I got a new phone. I'm sure that my iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Well, I got about 4 books, and
I'm stoked for one of them. Well, it's a 3-in-1.
Yeah. I'll get that one's going to be the last one I show. But first, I'm going to show this Funko Pop I got recently. I'm starting to get into the habit of not collecting them anymore. I'm just like I want to collect those that like really stick out. So but here I traded 3 of them to get this one. This is Batman from the Batman Damned comic. I like that Batman Noel costume. I know it's not that great looking in the Arkham games, but I like it. I think it looks cool.
Well, the Arkham games got lazy with some of the skins.
Yeah, I mean, it looked better in Arkham Knight, but it's just I don't like the way the cape looks in Arkham Knight. It looks like a snowflake. I mean, but what else was I got? But yeah, I like that. And now I got 2 books that I got on the same day. And recently I hung out with Matthew from the Geeks Addict. We live in the same city, so we met up at Half Price Books, and we were just looking at movie novelizations. And I found this one, Kong Reborn. I know I already showed it, but this is a sequel, I think, to the Peter Jackson film, but it's supposed to take place in the 90s with like Carl Denham's grandson, Jack Black's character. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't know if I would consider this a paper movie. More like,
I wouldn't consider it part of paper movies. That's a spin-off.
Yeah. And speaking of paper movies, I got this Dragon Slayer that we're actually in the process of reading, and I actually got this from the Geeks Addict. He was kind enough to give me a copy. That was really nice of him. So,
oh, you mean out of his 30 copies of Dragon Slayer? 29.
And I got this for my wife recently. I already showed Jeremy and Matthew this, and I sent a little joke video with it. I honestly don't know how the book is. It for all I know it could be good, but it's Padme is my wife's favorite Star Wars character, and I got Queen's Peril.
Oh,
well, I know that you've read it, and Matthew's read it.
You have Queen's Shadow. I can only imagine how heinous that is.
um, well, like I said, that was my wife loves Padme, and she really enjoyed Queen Shadow, and like I'm just like, well, okay. I mean, I think it's more that she's the more target audience. So, because I mean, from what I heard, it's definitely for people that are fans of Padme. So, but lastly, oh man, okay, all right. I've been venting about this to Jeremy and Matthew for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. It's my last book here I'm going to show. I Oh, hold on. Before I do that, Rob D had a comment. I hope there is another Batman game that the Batman who laughs is the villain. That'd actually be pretty cool. I know little of the Batman who laughs, but that'd be kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be fun. Although they need to not have Batman Tank Fighter.
Tank Fighter.
That was Arkham Knight, and it sucked.
You know, it'd be cool though.
Hmm.
In Arkham Knight, like, you know how he's doused with, he's got the Joker disease. I mean, that would have been a perfect, setup for a new game. Like the Bat family has to take him down because he's pure Joker. Could be a new Arkham twist on the Batman who laughs. But
and you play as all of the Bat family, like you just switch.
Yeah, that's from what I heard. Like the new Arkham game that might come out it's like supposed to be called Arkham Legacy. That could be. I mean, that's been a rumor for a long time. That may not even be 100% true, but like it's supposed to deal with like the Court of Owls or something.
Leave the Court of Owls alone. That story's dead.
I saw Batman versus Robin, and that was a good movie. But I mean,
yeah, that was fine. It was so. Did you ever read New 52?
I'm not really interested. No.
Okay, that was how New 52 began for Batman. Was the Court of the Owls, and then became Night of the Owls. They invaded Gotham, and it was this big, disgusting event that led to 1,000 disgusting events that became the New 52. It was like every 6 months we had another event that was supposed to be groundbreaking and would change everything, and it didn't.
Yeah, I haven't read it. The only New 52 comic I've read, which I don't even know if I would consider it a New 52 comic because it's kind of more of what started, was Flashpoint.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it set up New 52, correct?
It shoehorned. It was forced to. That was not the idea originally. That's why it's so bizarre at the end. And Batman shows up wearing the New 52 costume.
It's just, I mean, I like I said, Batman versus Robin was a pretty decent movie, and I saw the Court of Owls like in the Gotham series because I watched that from start to finish. But
I'm sorry.
I liked it, the show as it is, but some seasons were hit and miss. But there was like a couple of seasons that I remember loving because they were just very dark and showed how brutal Batman's rogues gallery is. But then I don't know. I think
costume at the end was so bad.
That wasn't the very that. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a knockoff of Bale's costume.
Yeah, I expected something really simple like Year One.
That would have been cool.
I wanted that last season to be Batman Year One. Like that would have been awesome.
That would have made so much more sense. Yeah, because that's about Gordon and Bruce Wayne and But
but no, I mean, the extra Frank Miller-y parts.
Though, fun fact though, the guy that plays Commissioner Gordon in Gotham played Batman in the animated film Year One.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Bryan Cranston played, I think, Commissioner Gordon. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he did very well.
I've never seen Year One, the animated film. I've heard it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It follows the comic pretty well. I recommend it. Maybe you can stream it somewhere.
Well, it's DC Unlimited. I'm not paying for that.
I might have an extra copy. I can probably send you that.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta check to see if I actually do though. I'm pretty sure I do, but
no problem.
But anyway, I want to get. I was going to mention. I want to get into this because this was frustrating. And okay, so I ordered a book about 2 weeks ago, guys, and I've been wanting this book for a while, but on eBay and Amazon, it's like between $20 to $30. Not wanting to pay that much for it. So me and Geeks Attic have a bookstore that we love going to called Half Price Books, and it has like everything: comics, games, movie novelizations, music books. I love it. I love going there. I mean, plus it's cheap. I found this book for $10, and they said, but the only store that had it was like a store in Texas, and they said that they can have it shipped up here for like $2 extra. I'm like, I'll take it. So they said it'd be here in 2 days. Now, granted, this was 2 weeks ago. 2 days turned into 4 days, and so I'm like, okay, well, they told me that if I'm wondering where it is, call them and they can track it. They kept telling me that, like, oh, it seems like it's still at a delivery service in Texas, and so I kept calling and calling, and at one point, they completely could not find it. Like, they typed in the tracking number, they typed in the order, they could not find it. And I was like, what's going on here, guys? So the girl I talked to said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll pass this on to my manager and she'll call you back. But and so I called back because I think she wrote down my number wrong. So I called back, and the manager said, "Hey, yeah, what I'm gonna, if you want, I can order another copy from one of our other stores and have it expedited to your house, and at no additional charge." So that was nice of them. They were nice about it. And so finally it got here after a few more days, and before that, they gave me the tracking number, and I tried to type it in to the postal service, could not find it. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I waited the next day, and there it was. But anyway, here, I'm going to bring it up. I got the Indiana Jones films, or movie novelizations. This is a 3-in-1. It's got about 595 pages. It's got a great cover. It's in really good condition. I don't know. I just love the feel of big paperbacks like this. But yeah, and something funny happened on the way today. I went to go visit my in-laws, and on my way home, I got a call from Half Price Books and said, "Hi, your order of Indiana Jones just now came in." I'm like, "What, really?" So I guess they ordered the previous order eventually made it up here. So I'm like, well, I already got another copy. Just go ahead and put it back on the shelf or something. But I'm excited for it. I've been wanting this for a while, and I can't wait to read it. So
yeah, that means we all own Raiders of the Lost Ark, and we could do that on paper movies.
That's true. We can. That's very true. But so I'm gonna go ahead and ask everyone in the all of our viewers, like, have you guys got any new books or started any new books recently? Oh, that's a good question. Have you started any more books recently?
Oh, I have.
Well, what are you reading right now?
Besides Dragon Slayer, I am reading We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix, one of Matthew Wilson's favorite writers. And this is his metal book. And I'm digging it. The less you know about it, the better, I think.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up. I'm trying to remember the author of. Okay. I started reading, besides Dragon Slayer, I have this audiobook series, and I got all the books, and I started with the first one. You see, I'm a big fan of the Sleepy Hollow story.
Oh, like the original?
Yeah, like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Well, this book series is a sequel series, and it involves a descendant of Ichabod Crane, and it's called, like, the first one was called Sleepy Hollow, Rise, Headless, and Rise, and then, like, it's got sequels by, like, General of the Dead, and I'm on the second book, which is Bridge of Bones, and it's by Richard Gleaves. It's really good. I love it. It's I thought at first it might still be a YA series, but it's pretty dark, actually. It's pretty.
Brutal.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's the exact words I was wanting to say. It's pretty brutal, but I like it. And I'm hoping that once I finish all of it, I'll do a review over the whole series as a whole. So,
Right on.
but yeah. Let's see. Rob D is back in the comments. He said, "I haven't bought books in so long. I'm not reading anything right now." Okay. All right. Yak Face. Hey, thanks for joining us, Yak Face. He said, "Hey guys, I just ordered the first few X-Wing novels. I look forward to digging into those." Nice.
That's why I got the tattoo.
Oh yeah. the rebel flag with the X-Wing in it. Yeah, I saw that. That's nice. Yeah, I actually saw the X-Wing books when I was hanging out with Geeks Addict a few days ago, but I have to declutter, so I might just have to start buying like digital books.
They have a really good bundle on Kindle for all 10 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it used to be $99. You got all 10 of them. I think is what it was originally. It might have gone down. Let's fact check me right here, right now, live on. I almost said the Backpedalers podcast. This is not Backpedalers podcast. Live on Bryant's Nerd Pub. Okay.
Oh, by the way, guys, I was gonna. Speaking of podcasts, Jeremy actually converted our paper movies stream into a podcast, and you can find that now on Spotify. So, thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, I just figured some people just might want to listen to the audio only, so let's do it. Also, we're on Spotify. All of my shows are on Spotify now.
Nice. But while we're on that, I'm gonna go ahead and because I was gonna go ahead. Oh, go ahead, man.
It's $60.
$60. Oh, okay, that's not as bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got the wrong multiple of 3.
Well, we're also going to mention for the paper movie streams, we may not answer questions during those streams because we just want to discuss the book, but we might start doing after we do that stream, we'll do a stream after it, and then we'll discuss it with you guys. So that way, because we want to just, get what we thought out, and then we'll do another stream, and then we'll discuss it with all of you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Jack Face said, Jeremy and Joe Rogan leading everyone to Spotify.
I mean, I don't listen to podcasts on there personally. I still use Apple Podcasts. I mean, I'm using it again, I should say, since the days of my iPod Touch 4th generation, which is the last Apple product I used a whole lot that was like a mobile device.
I might have to switch back to an iPhone soon. I have a Samsung, and I love Samsung, but it's mostly because my mom likes to my mom lives in another state, and she likes to FaceTime, my daughter. So, and we got Rob D. I just remembered I recently read the first 6 issues of the 2015 Marvel Star Wars series. They weren't great, but weren't terrible either. Just more rebellion era content. Was this the Disney canon stuff, Rob D, or was it more
Disney canon stuff? And we've been on record knowing that if I were to review the 3rd issue of that series, it would have been flushed down the toilet, and we would have had a major clogging. I fundamentally hate Jason Aaron's run on Star Wars. I hate it. It was boring, mediocre, been there, done that, horse shit. I said I wouldn't curse on the original rant. But there is no other word to describe that. It is so bad. It's barely Star Wars. And then, I don't know, it just got worse after he left. It went from bad to worse. Luke's going to cry about how Jin and the Rogue One crew died, so we could shoehorn that in and have Luke running around on Jeddah. Yeah, exactly what I didn't want in my series.
I saw something that was, I guess Leia at the time of Hoth was a general.
Uh,
I think
new canon or in the EU?
new canon.
Oh, I don't know. We all know she's a general in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Like I think Mon Mothma makes her canon. Like it's, I mean, making her a general is not the big deal. I mean, I'm all for Leia being general, but they have those like animated shorts of Star Wars, like Galaxy of Heroes or something.
Oh, the ones where they take movie dialogue and then they change the scenes.
Yeah, well, the general that was present at the Battle of Hoth that spoke to Han Solo.
Oh, Riken.
Yeah, they edited him out and said like when someone says general, we got something showing up on our scanners, and it showed Leia down there. I mean, like I'm fine with Leia being a general. Like I mean, but like don't like
No, I hate to be that guy because we'll get crapped on for this, but why do we need to take characters out for this series and we need to diminish other characters to spout our political agenda in Star Wars? And that's what it seems like Disney's doing. The scene I think of with this show is Luke and Leia going across the mine shaft in the original Star Wars, which
yeah.
is very adventure-y type thing. But Leia's like gunning down stormtroopers like she's Rambo, and Luke's cowering in fear. Like
Yeah, that's
what?
and it shows him like tangled up in that little like grappling hook that he had. I'm just like, guys, I mean, that's I like the original better because it showed all of them as like a strong character individually. I mean, Leia was a strong, princess, and I and we showed Luke, he was new at this, but he was brave, and we showed Han Solo like reckless, but he could take care of himself, and I just, I mean, let's see. Let's see. Rob D said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to read the remaining 70 issues or so. I haven't read any of them. I've been mostly focusing on getting through Legends. Let's see. So, I mean, I'm
think I
okay.
got 40 issues in and gave up.
I've read the Darth Vader comic that are part of it. So what?
With Afra.
Yeah, I wanted to read the one that Charles Soule wrote, the darker one.
That's fair. It starts out really strong and falls apart at the end.
But let's see. I think you're talking about the recent Galaxy Adventures episode, that show that pisses everyone off with every new episode. I mean, there was some like animation from that was good. I like that scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin like on a duel with Mustafar. We see like Anakin's like true evil Sith face. I'm like, that was actually really cool. I like that. But I mean, I just
Amazing.
I mean, I don't want to take like any characters out, like I mean, because of I mean, I know that they're I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just I saw I actually learned about it. What I saw like Ryan Kennel's episode about it, and go ahead.
I'm not surprised at all that Ryan did one, but I have not seen it.
But that's where I learned from it. Let's see. Yak Face, just wait until they redo the original trilogy one day. It'll be irritating. I sincerely hope they do not do that. Like, I mean, make your own trilogy. That's fine. I'll still watch it. I mean, whether I like it or not, it remains to be seen. But just leave the original movies alone. I mean, they've already been, what's the word? Redone like multiple times. Like, I mean, and granted, yes, they were trying to, like with the whole Jabba the Hutt originally being a man. I know that that was originally a deleted scene, I think, right? It was a deleted scene, yeah. But they wanted to add it in. I'm like, but now we got to make him a slug, like.
Well, they wanted to make him a creature of some kind. I mean, that's why in the Marvel comics, most of Benid that's there. That's Jabba's accountant, who often takes the persona of Jabba the Hutt. That's explained in the EU.
Oh, it is?
But it was supposed to be some sort of effect. Yeah. Yeah, that's explained in
Hey,
Kenobi, actually, that book.
oh, you know, I've read that a long time ago. I must have missed that. Hey, Quality Autism, thanks so much for joining us.
But yeah, in the special edition, they turn it into Jabba himself was there, and he doesn't really act like Jabba does. I don't know. I don't like that that's there. Also, they superimpose Boba Fett in, and it looks bad, and it's always looked bad. And then Boba Fett looks at the camera, which is stupid. It's almost as bad as when Jar Jar looks at the camera in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I remember when they added in Boba Fett, and I mean, that part didn't really bother me that much because honestly, I didn't really notice it that much. I'm like, wait, like it took me a minute, and then I noticed it. I'm just like, oh well, okay. I mean, that would make sense that he'd be there, but um, I did hear about this comic, and I believe it's from Legends about that origin of that skeleton that Luke threw to kill the Rancor.
Oh, it's probably in Tales.
Yeah, apparently Jabba had two people like Bib Fortuna is his name, right? His right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like one other guy trying to compete to be Jabba's like second in command, and they said, "I'll tell you what, geez, I can't remember what. I think it was some type of contest. I hadn't actually read it. I just heard about it. But he said the winner will be my right-hand man, or if you choose this, you'll get an even higher honor." And the higher honor was being the first victim of the Rancor. And so the skull was the guy that chose the higher honor unknowingly. He was about to be, he signed his own death warrant. So
Quality Autism says that the scene with Jabba was added because Lucas's ex-wife liked Harrison Ford's acting. That's weird. I've never heard that. Which ex-wife? Dude's been married 3 or 4 times now.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, that's why he has kids in so many different age groups.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has like a 5-year-old. He's in his 70s.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and his current wife's what, 30 years younger? So
wow.
It's not like there's a guy, one of the Rolling Stones members was like in his like he was like 56 and he married a 19-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like the ultimate age. Like what causes this? And it's like, oh, it's vanity. It's vanity and money.
Well, I was going to ask, speaking of this, recently, this was a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple of months ago, they announced that Steven Spielberg is no longer directing the soon-to-be
yeah, he's not the director, and that worries me quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the director of Logan is going to be directing the new Indiana Jones movie. And Quality Autism said it's Marcia Griffin.
Okay.
But what do you think about that?
I don't want a 5th Indiana Jones movie unless it's drastically different than what we got with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and doesn't have Harrison Ford in it.
I didn't even, after watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I'm just like, this wasn't even necessary.
No, it really wasn't. There were a couple fun moments in it that made sense when they were playing up Indy's age, like when he tries to swing onto the truck and he goes backwards and he goes to the windshield of the other one. That's pretty good. The fist fight where the guy gets eaten by the ants was fun.
I don't know. It's just like the whole first scene with, that town getting nuked.
I don't mind that and him coming out of the refrigerator. There's been equally as dumb things in Indiana Jones.
I know, but I'm just like, No, he'd be fried. I mean,
He would have. The dude wouldn't be alive at this point with the amount of times he's been punched in the face alone. And if he was, he'd be in an old folks' home. His brain would be mush. Like I don't watch Indiana Jones for realism. I watch it for an interesting story, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't quite do that for me.
now,
But
go ahead.
better than the Young Indiana Jones series.
Yeah, I've only seen like a bits and pieces of like one of those movies, but I kind of wish that it would have just ended with the Last Crusade, and then or like maybe the Last Crusade, and then like had some novels, kind of like Star Wars. But I know that people weren't.
They did.
Well, that's true. That's true. But
It got a TV show that was really bad. Actually, it's not all bad. An eighth of it is watchable.
Quality Autism's comment. He said, "Who wants a 80-year-old action hero?" Probably.
I mean, he's gonna die because he flew his plane into another golf course. At this point, they need to take his pilot's license away from him.
I didn't know that he was a pilot for the longest time. Like,
I mean, he's rich. They got to have ridiculous hobbies.
I knew John Travolta is a pilot, but
you know who else is a pilot?
Who?
Dr. Phil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talked about it on one of his episodes. I remember that as a kid, and I'm like, wow, what a hypocrite, because this woman was on there because her husband would rather fly than be around her.
Oh.
I I can't back you up because I like flying. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad that Dr. Phil's being upfront useless.
Let's see. Oh, we got Tanner from the Scarlet Raiders Geek Corner joining us. Hey, man, thanks so much for joining. He said, "Last Crusade is the best one. Really should have been the last one." Yeah. I mean, the Indiana Jones trilogy is great, and like, I don't know, just the whole thing with the extraterrestrials. Just I don't know. I mean, like you said, there was fun parts about it, Jeremy, but I don't know. I didn't think it was
not good. It's not terrible as everyone says, but it's bad.
I wasn't a big fan of the whole he had a son too. I mean,
I liked that.
You did?
He had dad issues in Last Crusade. Now he has son issues. Like that worked. And Shia LaBeouf works in the film to me. But yeah, I don't know. Marrying Marion Ravenwood was kind of dumb.
I did think it was funny though that he was criticizing him for like, oh, you didn't stay in school. Like, well, I don't care. Then he finds out he's kid. You're going back to school.
Yeah, that's fun.
Let's see.
Also, Indy doesn't really murder anyone in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, I was just watching Temple of Doom the other day because Temple of Doom I think is very underrated. It's a weird movie. It's really unpleasant. It's really offensive. But he murders, I think, 21 people directly, including my favorite kill I think I've ever seen in a movie that was not rated R, which is a flaming shish kebab to the chest. I think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, it makes me laugh because of how shocking it is.
It's kind of funny though, like the famous sword fight scene where he pulls out his gun and just shoots him. I'm just like, like I think I remember talking about it to someone, maybe my wife. I'm just like, that's technically murder. I mean, I know it,
and he does that sort of thing.
I mean,
all three.
I mean, you could probably argue that it was. Oops, sorry, I messed with something here. You could probably argue it was self-defense because he did bring his sword to him, but I don't know. I just thought it was. He's just like straight up, just like, oh hi.
Well, he runs over a dude in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's shown in pretty gory detail for PG. You see the car go over a dummy.
Let's see. Rob D said, I played the first Lego Indiana Jones before I watched the movies. Then when I watched the movies, the person I saw with kept saying, I thought you'd never seen these movies. Oh, the person I saw it with kept saying, I thought you'd never seen these movies. I get
Lego Indiana Jones is fun.
part-time. We're signed.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I thought you were a teacher. Part-time.
but in the trailer it's part time, and then in the movie it's part time. Come on.
Tanner says, Shia wasn't even the worst part of the movie.
Mm-mm. No, it's just it's bad writing. It's kind of boring for like the middle, and the middle doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then like it's just lackluster.
Let's see. I've only seen Temple of Doom once. It was a surreal experience. I think I've only seen it once too. Or yes, no, I think I've seen it twice. Mostly I go watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, and all three of them are on Netflix. I gotta go rewatch them.
All four of them.
Oh yeah,
they're all on there.
No, all three of them, Jeremy.
No, we got to count it. If we count the last four Harry Potter movies as movies, we count Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's better than the last four Harry Potter movies, and your wife can fight me over that one. At least they were competently filmed. At least Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was competently filmed.
I don't know him, honey. Anyway, just okay. Anyway,
marital counseling is in the air.
Let's see. Indy is a pretty morally gray protagonist. Yeah, he is.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that. It never works if you replace Nazis with Russians as the bad guys.
Yeah, a different war. Very different war.
Yeah, that was around the time of let's see.
It was during the McCarthy hearings.
Yes. It's been a while since I see it. I know that because it started off with like I think Elvis music playing, so like
So this fifth one, if we're gonna have Harrison Ford in it, was it gonna be 1970?
I don't know. I mean,
be like really old Indiana Jones in the 80s that introduced the Young Indiana Jones TV show, and you had the eye patch. Like that's awesome. Like if they kept that continuity, which I don't trust Disney to ever do.
I don't know. All I know is that the director of Logan is directing it. I'm like, well, maybe we might get like something very dark, and I hope so, because I think that would be because I've known that they've made several movies about certain characters, like in their old age. Like Ian McKellen played Sherlock Holmes, like in Mr. Holmes.
Yeah.
And we saw Logan, old Wolverine. I mean, I'd like to see. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to see. I thought Chris Pratt would be a great actor to play a young Indiana Jones.
I could see that. Yeah.
I think he has the similar swagger about him. We just have it before Temple of Doom, and maybe even take one of the Bantam novels and make it into a movie. That they would never do that. But like take Staffordeli and make it into a movie.
Have you ever played any of the Indiana Jones video games? Not the Lego ones.
Funny you asked that. I actually started playing Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. And the controls are hideous.
I've seen them, but I've never actually played them. I'm like, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting you. That's messed up.
Oh, you're good. Go for it.
In my experience, from like watching reviews and stuff, the point and click ones are decent, but like any of the other ones seem to have awful controls, but decent stories. Not great, but decent.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you ask like gamers, like, what would you prefer, good controls or a good story? I mean, but I don't know. I mean, there's some games that are great, and But I think what would be cool is a Indiana Jones Telltale series. But I think from what I heard, Telltale might be going out of business or something.
Telltale's gone.
Oh, it is.
Telltale's dead.
Because
Their boring, Ambien-inducing Walking Dead games are done.
I have the Telltale Jurassic Park game, and I played the first Batman one. The Jurassic Park game was actually pretty good.
Yeah, Telltale used to care. And then they made season 2 of their Walking Dead game.
I never played.
Oh, season 1 of The Walking Dead. Play that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't play any others.
Just play that.
Just play that first season. It was awesome, and that second season was boring and awful. Oh, I've always wanted to play as a depressed, angsty 8-year-old. That's who I've always wanted to play as in a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on some of these comments. Sorry if I missed a couple of them, guys. A friend of mine yesterday, Yakface told me he couldn't imagine Tom Selleck as Indiana Jones. I don't think it would have been as successful. Oh, was he supposed to play Indiana Jones?
Yes, in fact, he had a test screening that you can actually look up online. He was
weird.
Seemed really good, but unfortunately his contract with Magnum PI would not allow him to make a movie. He actually did an Alan Quartermain movie that was a knockoff of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
See, Quality Autism says if they get Ford to wear an eye patch for the entire movie, I'm in.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
Let's see. He also said, "Isn't Tomb of the Dragon Emperor the third Brandon Fraser mummy film?" Brendan Fraser. Sorry.
Yeah, the really bad mummy movie.
That's the only one I have not seen.
No, I think it's The Emperor's Tomb is what the game is called. My bad. I mean, let's take a look at my Steam library real fast.
Let's see. And Scarlet Rider's Geek Corner said Telltale is in the ground. Yeah, I thought I remember reading about that recently, and I was just I played a few Telltale games, but I was never like I said, it kind of had to be like, ooh, it's a Jurassic Park. I want to play that, type of games. I could see Chris Pratt doing that, says Rob D. He played a great gunslinger in Magnificent Seven, for one thing. I haven't seen Magnificent Seven.
It was okay, considering it's a remake of a remake. That's all you can ask for, really. I didn't like that it was basically the same thing as the 60s film.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was serviceable. And the game is called Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. You are correct, Quality Autism.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still gonna go see it, and it might be great. It might be, it might be a very different Indiana Jones film, but I mean,
so is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, that's true.
And Temple of Doom.
I mean, maybe it might bring back his son. What was his name? Bud?
Mutt.
Okay. Maybe it might bring back his son, and maybe. I mean, I haven't read if Shia LaBeouf is coming back or not, but
yeah, he wasn't allowed to come back if Spielberg was going to direct it because he trashed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when they were trying to promote it.
Oh.
And George Lucas said if they were ever going to make an Indy 5, he was not allowed to be in it.
Golly.
Yeah, he was being really unprofessional. Mind you, this is at the peak of Shia LaBeouf's career when I think he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. And before he had his meltdown and wore the bag over his face saying that no one liked him.
I knew that he was going through stuff. I don't really pay attention to like celebrities' personal lives. I mean, like, is this? Well, I did know that, like most celebrities, he went through stuff, I guess. But yeah, what was another thing I was going to mention? Oh, yeah, there's also the Joker, the movie that had Joaquin Phoenix. Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
What did you think of that? Because they're actually talking about making a sequel to it.
They shouldn't make a sequel to it. It is a film about a city in distress, and the worst parts about it are the Batman parts. Otherwise, it's a fine film.
I thought Joaquin Phoenix did great as the Joker.
I thought so too. You didn't even have to call it Joker. You could have called it anything. It didn't have to be Gotham City. It was a solid film. And I'm slightly biased because that was one of my favorite professor's best friends that directed that film. So we used as a lot of examples in one of my classes in the last fall.
So we got more comments. We got All American Cornbread joining us. Hey man, thanks so much for joining us. He said the next indie movie should be Short Round dealing with PTSD from his childhood adventures.
Wow. Better film idea right there.
Rob D said in Indiana Jones 5, the rare artifact he'll be hunting for is a lightsaber.
There we go.
And Scarlet Rider's Geek Corner said Shy needs mental health and upset. And we got some Yak Face here said Shia LaBeouf should only be cast in, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's mean.
Quality autism. Indiana Jones and the retirement home.
Yeah, the thing is, if the Indy 5 makes any money, Disney's gonna milk it to death, and they're gonna kill it like they're killing Star Wars. Star Wars is like in its death throes right now. Maybe if, Kathleen Kennedy is involved. She should be banned from everything. She should be banned from the Lucasfilm building.
I mean, here's my thing. I'm not a fan of some of the decisions that they've made with the new. Hold on, I'm sorry. Tanner from Scarlet Rider's Gate Corner said Indiana Jones: The Quest for Pudding. That's good. That's great. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh man, that's great.
You've killed Adam.
Oh man, no. Yeah, Tanner's actually he's a friend of mine. I used to work with him, and we did a podcast together once. And we used to be coworkers, and we talked about like nerdy and geek stuff at work all the time. And that's great, Tanner. Rob D. Tapioca pudding. Oh my gosh. Okay. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Disney.
Oh, Star Wars. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm enjoying the Legends stories a lot more. I mean, there's still stuff about, the Disney canon that I like. I mean, I don't know about some of the decisions that they made, and I'm just like, you know what? I didn't like it. That's fine. Moving on. But I'll still read the new books, but I'm just glad that I'm really enjoying the Legends books, and I'm kind of like on board with the whole. I'm on board with the whole. Let's bring with the Legends banner. Let's bring the Legends stories back. So. Let's see.
Oh God, it's continuing.
It's continuing. Yep. Okay.
Look ahead in the comments. I'm like,
oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna be like, okay. So anyway, about the Joker, they're now talking about wanting to cast a new one. From what I've read somewhere like on Facebook, and I'm not saying that this is legit news. Like, I don't like getting news from Facebook, but it's just kind of more like, hey, I saw that. What if they actually are? And I'm sure that they will, because they're making a new Batman series that they're gonna have a new Joker. But
leave Batman alone. Let him rest. Give Batman a decade off. Can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, he's been rebooted more times than any other superhero. Like,
and it gets worse every time.
I mean,
unless you want to bring back, I heard this really great idea, and it was on Matt Wilkins' podcast, Princes of the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
A Batman Beyond, like make a Batman Beyond movie and cast Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne.
I'd be down. Yeah, I'm all for that idea.
I'm basically,
or like either Michael Keaton or Kevin Conroy.
yeah, or same deal. Either of those two, make a live action Dark Knight Returns, and cast Mark Hamill as the Joker in that.
That'd be awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I doubt that they would do that. They were kind of done with those. Both Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were kind of done after Killing Joke, which I know you're not a big fan of that movie.
Not really. I love the comic. I'm not a fan of the movie though.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfilmable movie, so they had to do things, and I think they did them. They took liberties that were in the spirit of Alan Moore with the daddy thing.
Okay.
Bat Daddy. That's what Batman should be called now. Is the Bat Daddy.
See. The legend stories are in pretty good demand. There's 6 Legends epic collections out of print, and the cheapest Dark Horse omnibus collection from what I've seen is Droids for $20.
And you should pick up Droids. Actually, that got reprinted in the Empire Volume 4. No, Volume 5. I'm pretty sure. Prints all the Droids comics that were done by Dark Horse.
Is he too young for the role? I thought he was older than that. I mean, Kevin Conroy?
Just put him in old man makeup.
That's
It
true.
doesn't matter. I mean, you ever seen Prometheus? That dude's like in his 30s, and they made him look 110. It looked terrible.
I'd be on board with Michael Keaton too. I like Kevin Conroy's Batman voice. So,
or even get Val Kilmer in there.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer. It wouldn't be my top choice, but it'd be fine.
Val Kilmer, I don't know. I mean, he's actually one of my least favorites, and that's just me though. I mean, I thought he was good as Batman, but I didn't like him I thought he was better as Bruce Wayne than he was Batman.
I will agree, but this is a Bruce Wayne role, not a Batman role.
That is true. That's a good
Going
point.
with the Batman Beyond idea.
Quality Autism, didn't you see how they treated Kevin Conroy in the Crisis on Infinite Earth? I saw like maybe a second of it. Like he said that was abysmal. I haven't seen the whole episode, and I never watched it. Like I watched like YouTube clips, and I think I saw like a trailer where they brought in Kevin Conroy. But
let me ask you this, Adam, because I don't follow the CW garbage.
I haven't watched it in a long time either. But go ahead.
It's not all garbage. Arrow's garbage. I've heard Flash and Supergirl are passable. But Batwoman, was Kevin Conroy Batman in that? Did Batman even show up? Because I heard rumors that Kevin Conroy showed up as Batman in that. Maybe the audience can answer this as well.
I think that's what Quality Autism was talking about. Okay, here's what I saw. Like I read these articles. Yes, I think that, okay, and Quality Autism, or if anybody else saw that, and if I'm wrong, I didn't watch it, feel free to let me know. Like, from my understanding, I think that was like an alternate version of Bruce Wayne, and they had like because I remember them saying like in the Arrowverse there was another Bruce Wayne, but I could be wrong. That could have been it. I mean, so if you guys know, please let me know, because I don't watch the CW shows anymore. I might catch up on The Flash. I might bring that one back because me and my wife enjoyed watching that one. But let's see. Least favorite? You thought George? Oh no. I
film.
No, I by no means thought George Clooney was better. I don't know. It's just. He definitely had the Bruce Wayne role. I don't know. I didn't really care for his Batman, I guess is what I said. But no, George Clooney is way, way down there. And let's see. Hollywood forgot how good Michael Keaton is for a while. Yeah, Michael Keaton's a good actor. I mean,
I think White Noise killed his career for a while.
I haven't seen White Noise.
It's a fine movie until the last 10 minutes. Actually, the last 20 minutes, and then becomes one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And it's one of those movies that gives you the middle finger at the end. It's a horror movie where his wife dies and he hears her through the TV as a ghost, and it's like a horror movie, kind of, sort of, not really. And then it becomes a horror movie at the end, and it's bad CG and it's dumb.
I got to get to these comments down here because there's one that I got to show that's actually kind of funny. Quality Optimism says, no, as far as I know, Conroy was only alternate universe Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover. He never appears on Batwoman. Okay, that's what I thought, because I remember seeing an article where they showed a picture of Bruce Wayne, but I may have misread it. Like, let's see. I have actually read the Droids Omnibus through Amazon Prime reading. I actually quite enjoyed it. 3PO and R2 have gone through a lot.
Yeah, there's some fun stories.
Now, here's what I was wanting to show, because it's cast George Clooney as Old Man Bruce, PTSD from years of chafing from the bat nipples, and the dirt and the horrible ice puns.
No, this is what they do. They have a reveal scene of his scars, and he has no nipples. The suit ripped them off.
I feel like Birdman put Michael Keaton back on the map. Haven't seen it though. I haven't seen it either.
So many jazz drums. It's a good movie. Would recommend.
So many what?
There's a lot of jazz drums.
Oh, okay.
That's the soundtrack of drums. It's so awesome. Like I say that with the most love possible. It works. It really does.
No, but I was going to answer a question. No, Tanner, I did not like George Clooney better than Val Kilmer. I'd actually would prefer that Val Kilmer would have stayed and done Batman and Robin. The movie still would have been bad, but at least, we wouldn't have had. I actually saw a video interview of George Clooney apologizing for Batman.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know what happened with that. I mean, I remember loving the nostalgia of it, but I was a kid at the time. I'm like, just like, oh, cool, we get a Mr. Freeze ride at Six Flags for this, and and like I like that new Robin costume. And then like growing up, I'm like, wow, this movie is bad.
I was not allowed to watch it.
You weren't?
It was. No, my parents, every time because it almost immediately after it came out, TNT got the rights and they would show it all the time. They would show it after A New Hope. So I'd be watching A New Hope, and then Batman and Robin would come on, and we would watch the Freeze part, because Freeze has always been my favorite Batman villain. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then it would switch to the Poison Ivy part where they make Bane.
Mm-hmm.
And it would and then my parents would be like, well, that's stupid. And they would turn off the TV. They would turn it off. Be like, okay, go play outside. And like, okay. So I've seen the beginning of Batman and Robin more times than I've seen any of the other Batman movies.
Sorry. Batman and Robin was so bad you temporarily blocked it out.
Yeah. It's not a film.
No. Nope.
It's such a departure from Batman Forever. It's like every goofy little thing that was in Batman Forever cranked up to 11. Like, what?
Hey, by the way, Tanner, if you're watching, I sent you a message on Facebook. But I was gonna say they did nothing right with that movie. Like, I mean, here's the one thing that they did that I thought was good. They showed the tension between Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
Yeah, in the worst way possible.
That's the only thing they did right, though. Like, it was horrible, but that was because we all know that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson have had their issues, but I mean, it's just they didn't show that Adam West and Burt Ward type of Batman and Robin, but
no, and that was refreshing, I suppose.
And they did Mr. Freeze's whole wife thing right. That's why he's doing all this, but it's just, here's the thing they did wrong. Mr. Freeze, I don't see him as a, maniacal supervillain. He's just he's careless of everybody else except his wife.
Mm-hmm. And that's all that matters. And he's really intelligent. Why cast Arnold Schwarzenegger in that role?
Yeah.
I mean, Arnold's, don't get me wrong, big Schwarzenegger fan. And Schwarzenegger is an intelligent guy, but he's not necessarily known for that in his filmography. You know, I mean, every time he's cast as a scientist, it's bizarre. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is Junior, where he's pregnant.
Here's a fun question. Who do you think could have played Mr. Freeze live action? I have someone in mind.
At that time?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have one person in mind that I think could have pulled it off, like the frozen bald head look. I was gonna say Patrick Stewart.
Okay, maybe. He's a little old for that though. At that time. Kevin Spacey?
That's good, actually. Yeah, I could see that.
That's the only thing I can think of, because right after that he did American American Beauty, which I thought was a really good movie until I realized it's basically the truth about his life.
Oh, really?
Only it was he assaulted a boy.
Okay. I'm gonna move on.
move on from that.
Let's see. Rob D said, I can never remember what the Batman and Robin Batmobile looks like, even though I didn't really like the Batman Forever Batmobile. It's still
with its rubber mohawk. It's similar. Yeah. I don't know. I tried to forget all the Batmobiles that weren't the Keaton mobile.
The best Batmobile.
Yeah, it is the best.
See, Scarlet Riders said Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze, and Rob D said Jeremy Irons. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, chicks take the car. This is why Superman works alone.
I hated that. I've always hated that line.
I know, it's like, yay, we're confirming that these two actually exist in the same universe, and then we never see Superman. And
that's Christopher Reeves was paralyzed.
Well, I thought that they were going to cast somebody else. I mean,
I don't think at that time that would have gone over like a lead balloon. Christopher Reeves was Superman. He was the man that you believe flew, even in Quest for Peace, where they ran out of money in the budget and just used the same flying scenes over and over again.
Oh, okay, hold on. That's a good question topic. What would you rather see? Like, okay, if you had to choose one movie to watch for a whole day because you had to and get like $1 million, would you watch Batman and Robin or Superman 4?
Easily Superman 4. I genuinely found that film funny.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I like that. What's his name? His name escapes me. Lex Luthor. Who was the actor that played Lex Luthor in those films again?
Oh, I can't remember. He's an actual
Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman. That's his name. I liked his roar sounds as Nuclear Man because he actually voiced Nuclear Man. So
yeah, because the guy they got was a Chippendales dancer and couldn't act. I just watched this. It's part of because that's a canon film, and they did a documentary. It was several years ago called Electric Boogaloo, and that's one of the films they talk about is how their budget kept getting cut by thousands upon thousands of dollars, and like they got this Chippendales dancer. He's like, I found Nuclear Man, and he couldn't act.
He's like, he was right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yakface said Spacey has made some creepy videos where he is in character as the House of Cards guy.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Rob D says, I'd be afraid to see who Batman and Robin universe Wonder Woman would be. I don't know.
I don't know. Ugh. I'm trying to think of terrible casting for Wonder Woman of the time. Liv Tyler's a little too young for that.
Liv Tyler, yeah.
A couple. Oh, when did Armageddon come out?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Let's look it up.
Okay. Scarlet Writer's Geek Corner said, wasn't this around the decade they were making Nick Cage's Superman? Yes, Tim Burton's Superman movie.
Yeah, which would have been hideous.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, Armageddon came out in '98, so it is plausible to a very young Wonder Woman. That would have been terrible casting. I don't know. I just don't like Liv Tyler in pretty much anything. I think she's fine. It's just her to me her acting range is kind of limited. Her as Arwen was always obnoxious to me.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is Quality Autism said, oh God, yes, Nick Cage as Superman versus George Clooney Batman. Bring it on. And yeah,
better film.
Cage as Superman was going to look radically different, and let's petition Batman versus Superman, the Clooney Cage edition.
It would have been a better movie than release that Snyder cut. Like, get out of here with that.
They were gonna make a Justice League movie, and I think Armie Hammer was gonna play Batman, and I can't remember who was gonna be Superman, but
when?
It was gonna be like 2000, early 2000s, but there was like a Justice League movie in
That's
the. I'll find the link and I'll send it to you. Natalie Portman as Wonder Woman and Batman and Robin.
Way too young. Way too young. She was like 15 in Phantom Menace.
Scarlet Rider said it was 2001, I think. Was it 2001, Tanner? Yeah, I think it said it was 2001. Or, well, it may have been.
So it was before Superman Returns was the thought.
Yes.
Also known as the most boring Superman movie ever.
Yeah, that was.
I think it's worse than Man of Steel, but just barely because it's so boring.
Yeah, I think Tanner said it was 2001 when the Justice League movie was coming out, but I saw the costume, like Batman's costume. It would have looked cool, and Superman's costume actually. I mean, I felt like it would have been a good Justice League movie. I think it was during the Nolan. Oh, was it 2007? Man,
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. I think
I was just watching because I had to explain to my mom about the opening of Dark Knight Rises, where the Littlefinger from Game of Thrones is putting on his worst acting voice I've ever heard in my life. And he's like shooting the terrorists and throwing him out of the airplane, but you can't tell because they couldn't put blood in it.
Okay, yeah, it was. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It was Tanner. It was gonna be 2009 with the release date. Yeah, like I'm looking at it right now. I think they were working on it in 2007, and it was gonna be released in 2009. So, but I'm sorry. What was the Littlefinger? I'm sorry, man.
You've seen the opening of Dark Knight Rises when Littlefinger's the CIA agent and they have Bane in the plane and they flip the plane over. My mom didn't believe that actually happened in a movie because that's stupid. Where they literally pull the plane so it's vertical, which I don't think is humanly possible.
I mean, like I said, I'm not a scientist or anything, but I'm just like I kind of felt like there would like if they would have tilted the plane up like that, it would have like wouldn't have like gone like when the wind had pushed it like way up or something.
I think it would have flattened at that speed. But like not it's the scene before that where Littlefinger's like, was getting caught part of your plan? And he's just talking like that. It's so awful. It's slightly worse than when the guy who played Orson Krennic is like, where's Bane? I need to talk to him. And then he gets his mouth crushed, I think is what happened. I'm not sure. Every time Bane does something like this supposed to be dark, they cut away and I don't understand what he was trying to do. What is it when he puts his hand on his shoulder like this?
Do you feel in charge?
I mean, like, that's fine. Like, that's cool and intimidating and like more Bane-like than him screaming Bane and running around.
Bane.
But I mean, like, who thought that Tom Hardy was a Cuban? I want to know this. I thought it was more believable when Al Pacino was a Cuban in Scarface.
Let's see. Would have been weird because Dark Knight would have been out the year before. That would have been a branding nightmare. Yeah.
That's what they would call it, branding nightmare.
Yeah. I had something I was gonna say. Yeah, I didn't know that Littlefinger was that CIA agent, like until you just mentioned, like, oh, that was him. And
I think I'm of the opinion that every good actor that works with Christopher Nolan does a terrible performance except for Morgan Freeman.
well, I mean, yeah, it's Morgan Freeman. I mean,
Yeah, but like Christian Bale's a good actor and he's terrible in those movies. Anne Hathaway's terrible in those movies. Maggie Gyllenhaal terrible.
okay, I have to. This might be an unpopular opinion. My favorite Christian Bale Batman performance was Batman Begins. You might disagree with me
Oh no, it's the most interesting of all three of those movies.
because he doesn't use that creepy Batman voice too
Not
much. Like,
really, no.
he only uses it when he's intimidating some or interrogating someone, and but it's just as the movies go, it just gets worse and worse. You know.
Yeah. When Anne Hathaway disappears on him, oh, so that's
What that feels like. I'm just like Batman would not even have said anything. Let's see. Quality Autism says, "Can you imagine Tom Hardy's Bane in that movie, just screaming Bane and posing like that?"
Well, it would be the 2015 film Legend, where he played two characters and put on terrible accents that you can't understand what he's saying. Well, I'm Tom Hardy. That's him. He has like 20 different versions of his voice, and they're all awful.
Morgan, so he's immune. That's
Oh, here we go. The train is weighing in on Christopher Nolan's terrible films. I mean, I'll say this: his Batman trilogy is better than Interstellar. Interstellar was just like an Ambien commercial.
I actually haven't seen. Oh wait, Interstellar. What was that about again?
When they go to Earth's dying, so they go try to find a new place to live.
Okay, I was actually thinking of. I was thinking of another movie. Never mind. Rob D says, "I find it funny now that guy tells Bane you're a big guy. Meanwhile, Tom Hardy's like 5'8". Yeah, I'm taller than Bane technically."
Yeah, I mean, they good job on the cinematographers for the cinematographer to make Bane look taller.
You know, I actually saw a fan art of Dave Bautista as Bane, and I'm like, ooh, that would have been. I think
Dub him over.
put a new voice with him.
Yeah, he's got the body, but he doesn't have the voice. I would think of as Bane.
For you. I thought it was stupid when he was still using the voice in Dark Knight Rises when Bane already knew who he was. Yeah. Like he did that with Ra's al Ghul too, and like it ends here. Like I can't beat two of your pawns. I'm just like, he knows who you are, dude. You don't have to do the voice.
I don't know. The guy who plays Alfred, I find him to be a great actor, but in those films, in Dark Knight Rises, where he's crying, you must not beat Batman, Mr. Wayne. He's like just crying. I can't even do it. My buddy Logan, who used to do YouTube videos, he could do a really great impersonation.
Oh, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, and you can't understand anything he's saying.
I will say though, whenever he thought Bruce was dead at the end of it, when he cried, that actually was really good acting. I mean,
yeah, until he started speaking, and then you didn't understand. I'm sorry, I hate that movie. Oh, what's his face who plays Commissioner Gordon's also incredible in those movies.
I'm sorry, what?
The guy who played Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's great. Gary Oldman's great in literally every single thing he does.
Yeah, he's actually one of my favorite actors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's played a lot of good characters. He's played Dracula, he's played Beethoven, he's played Commissioner Gordon. It's just, I mean,
He played a crazy crack dealer with dreadlocks in the Quentin Tarantino written movie True Romance.
He played Sid Vicious. What I like is that sometimes he's kind of at that line where you think he might be over the top, but he just keeps it right underneath it and he doesn't overdo it. I could not understand a word of his in The Revenant. And yeah, Tanner also said even dumber when he was stabbed by Talia and he keeps using his voice. Yeah. Like, Miranda. He's like, please don't do that. But yeah. Was Michael Caine in The Revenant, or was he talking about Christian Bale?
No, he's talking about Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy. Oh, okay.
Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy more than Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie because Tom Hardy's faces are so crazy looking. I was like, oh my god, he's just like an insane person, and Leonardo DiCaprio is just like Leonardo DiCaprio with a southern accent. Which I love his southern accent. In Django Unchained, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
You know, here's one thing that I was going to mention. I know that this was supposed to be a more realistic Batman.
Yes.
I kind of go back and forth on including, like, in a realistic world, Robin would have been a police officer that knows. I mean,
that name is Robin.
Yeah, like that. And like apparently he inherited Batman's legacy or something.
Well, someone had to. There wasn't anyone left.
I know, but I was just like, it's like he doesn't have the best fighting experience, and I mean, I know he has police training and all, but I mean,
well, remember you didn't read New 52. There's where Commissioner Gordon becomes Batman.
Oh yeah, where he has that
mustache, and suddenly he's the same age as Barbara, and he's like ripped, and then he gets into like the Bat mech suit.
Have you seen How It Should Have Ended?
I've seen several episodes of How It Should Have Ended.
Well, they show that scene where Blake or Robin finds the Batcave. And he's like looking around, and then it shows Bruce Wayne leaving his suit for him. It's the Burt Ward Robin outfit
with the sword.
And he's just like, "What? No, I'm not wearing that. Forget that." Still baffles me that Michael Caine, I'm sorry, played Austin Powers' father. Oh, Faja, yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that movie. It had like it was probably the same as any Austin Powers movie. Like it was funny, but like, oh my gosh. And I heard that there was talks about Austin Powers 4, and I'm like, no.
Oh, no one wants to work with Mike Myers, which is why he's like never in anything. Because he's such a perfectionist and a weirdo. Have you ever seen The Love Guru?
No.
Oh, it's really bad.
I had no interest at all in watching that.
Oh, it's uncomfortable to watch. Honestly, my favorite Mike Myers role was his cameo he had in Inglourious Bastards.
No, I haven't seen that either. Wait, actually, I may have actually.
Yeah, he and Michael Fassbender have like a briefing, and it's really good. It's the best part of that whole movie.
Let's see. Yakface says, "Blame It on Rio" from 1984 with Michael Caine would never get made today or imagine American Beauty as a comedy.
I mean, the sad thing, American Beauty is genuinely a fascinating movie, but it's not a movie of today.
Fern Troyer, yeah. I don't know. I've kind of. I wish there was like we'd move on from like all the sequels. I'm like maybe 2 or 3 movies, move on to a new project or something. But like I don't know. It's just there's like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you don't want Hellraiser 11?
I haven't even seen Hellraiser 1 yet, and I mean I'll watch it, but it's like Jaws. Like that movie should have ended with Jaws 2. You know.
I mean, you shouldn't have even bothered with Jaws 2, but you did, and it's fairly decent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like if there was any of the Jaws sequels, it should have ended at Jaws 2.
Yeah,
And
I mean, Halloween should have just ended with Halloween 2 if we really want to get into that.
you know, I was gonna say I just thought of something about Jaws 2. Um, it would have been much better explanation. They it would have been a much better explanation. Like they said, like apparently it's just a shark since the other shark was destroyed and came over or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No.
Well, it said Chief Brody is asking the scientist that says, I know that dolphins communicate. They send signals. You don't think that if a shark was destroyed, that another shark would just. And I'm like, I think it'd make more sense if like maybe during the first Jaws movie, they didn't realize that there was two sharks.
Okay. See, the only thing I remember about Jaws 2, aside from the carnage, is that the shark it bites that cable and gets electrocuted and I think blows up.
No, it doesn't. It just catches on fire.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Jaws 3, I just remembered the bad special effects, and it was at a amusement park. And then there was a baby shark that died and looked like a plastic toy. And then the shark.
oh yeah, yeah.
Everything looked bad in Jaws 3, and then Jaws the Revenge. Hey, Michael Caine's in that. He's dancing around.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the shark sticks his head out of the water and roars.
Yeah, which is not even possible.
No, they don't have vocal cords, but
No.
I like Jaws. The first one is the one I've seen the most. Like the other ones, I've probably seen twice each.
The first Jaws you've seen the most?
Yeah, because it's a movie.
Let's see. Scarlet Riders says Austin Powers 4 would have centered around Dr. Evil. Sort of sad it didn't happen, but it's for the best. Yeah, quality autism. So, what about James Bond? No Time to Die, where James is going to be a daddy and die at the end. I didn't know that was going to be the case.
I don't want it.
Um,
I don't care at all. And I don't think anyone cares about No Time to Die, if I can be completely honest. The woke campaign, as it was said, that pissed a whole bunch of people off. I was just like, I was done after. I mean, I was satisfied with Skyfall being the end. Then Spectre came out, and I'm in the minority of I actually liked Spectre a little more than I liked Skyfall.
I enjoyed Spectre and I enjoyed Skyfall, but I do agree that I don't know. I kind of felt like they needed to end it with Spectre because it showed it introduced the ongoing war with Blofeld. But I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to No Time to Die. But I mean, I watch these movies all the time with my dad, so
I'd rather watch more Roger Moore and have a laugh.
I'd rather watch Sean Connery films.
I mean, I would if I wanted to actually watch genuine movies. I would watch Sean Connery, James Bond, or the first two Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yeah, I do agree with Scarlet Writer's Geek Corner. Hollywood is dying, hence the remakes, reboots, and sequels. Yeah, it's just you kind of notice that there's very little original stuff out there.
That's why you got to start looking for the independent filmmakers that make stuff on like YouTube and Vimeo. I'm serious. This is how you change the system. This is like we had this problem in the 70s where the big Hollywood executives retired. A bunch of corporations bought the studios and they didn't know what to do, so they let a bunch of young people make films. And that's how we ended up with like things like Star Wars and Jaws and Alien to a certain extent, but that came a little after that. Or Dirty Harry, Death Wish, The Towering Inferno. You have all these like different films. They're very different for their time. Easy Rider is the beginning of that. And they were made for young people. And that's what you need to do. Again, you need to hit that reset button. You start making things that are cheap, and that's and no more of these these millions upon millions of dollar films. Just make something down and dirty,
Mm-hmm.
especially right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's times I've seen like a horror film with a very little budget,
Mhm.
like, but it's terrifying, and it's more terrifying than what they put in Hollywood, which is like thrives off jump scares.
Oh yeah, no, it's formulaic. What they like, a Paranormal Activity is the perfect example. Where have you ever seen a Paranormal Activity movie in the theater?
Yeah.
It, tell me if I'm not wrong. This is my experience. I saw the fourth one in the theater. Everyone sits and talks and they text on their phones, and then because the movie's sorry, I almost dropped an F bomb. The movie's like super boring, and you're just socializing, and then like it stops and it gets really quiet, and so everyone gets quiet and they sit there and they sit there and sit there, and then boo, scary ghost, whatever, jump scare, and everyone goes ah, and then they go back to talking.
Yeah, I experienced that. There was people that like they were quiet, but then whenever the scary thing happened, they were talking about like, oh man, that was so funny and awesome, and then like you hear all the other people saying, "Shut up," and um, well, I was gonna mention, are you familiar with Marble Hornets?
No.
Oh, well, it's a Slender Man series. It's a web series, and very, you can tell that it's on a very, you can tell that there's a budget, but it scared me more than most actual Slender Man films do, and it's just like I just kind of feel like when they don't have, I feel like sometimes if they don't have like a big budget, it makes them have to realize that okay, we don't have like a budget to where we can have all these effects to save us. Like it really makes them have to make sure that it pay more attention to the craft, I guess is probably the term to say. It's and it's like with Jaws. I mean, I know that there's technical issues with the shark, but they found a way around that. They didn't computer animate anything. They were like, okay, well, let's just show the shark there, but not show the shark. And as a result, it was more terrifying. I mean, you knew it was a shark, but the fact that you can't see it, I mean, it's kind of like that. Like when you go into the ocean, you can't see the sharks coming. So I just kind of thought that was a good touch.
And I mean, you can make a film on any budget. My last film was $50 to make.
Mm-hmm.
$50, and that's including like my beer budget for drinking and directing.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on some of these comments. I'm sorry that I fall behind, guys. I'm gonna catch up on them real quick. Let's see if I can. All right.
There we go. I was about to say that's where I remembered leaving off.
I remember when a franchise having 4 films was rare. Now it's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, or it was a horror franchise and they were considered garbage.
That's Quality Autism says they might literally end the franchise with No Time to Die. It's clear the producers don't care about James Bond anymore. I've actually heard that there was going to be talks of rebooting it again, like showing a younger James Bond. Like, I guess
it's going to be a tween. It's going to be James Bond Jr. the movie.
We're not talking about that show anyway. Oh my god, I didn't know that existed, and I wish I never did.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
I never. Rob D said he's never seen a James Bond film. I remember people went nuts over Skyfall.
Well, yeah, it's a solid movie. It won an Oscar, if not 2 Oscars.
I actually do recommend the James Bond films, Rob D, but I would start at the beginning with the Sean Connery films, just so that way you can that's the classic James Bond.
I mean, Quality Autism can point you in the right direction because he's like a bigger fan than either of us are. He's read all the books.
Oh yeah, yeah. My dad actually read all the books too. I've read Casino Royale, but But yeah, I recommend him, the James Bond films. I think you
Don't
would enjoy them.
don't read the James Bond comics.
Oh yeah. Okay, there actually are some James Bond films that I never seen, but I was told, like Never Say Never Again and the comedy version of Casino Royale.
Watch those. Watch both of those. I highly, especially Never Say Never Again is my favorite Sean Connery James Bond movie.
Really, I heard it was a horrible movie.
It's a remake of Thunderball. It's well, you have to understand if you're watching them in release order, this is right in the middle of really bad Roger Moore.
Oh yeah, they did make it during the Roger Moore films.
Came out the same year as Octopussy. Octopussy came out in the summer, and this came out in the winter.
Scarlet Rider's Geek Corner he said, I gotta dip out, guys. Bedtime here on the East Coast. Have a good night. Hey, have a good night, Tanner. Thanks so much for joining us, man. And you have a good night, and we'll talk to you later, buddy. Thanks so much. And Yakface said, Coppola was part of the young alternative type directors back then, too.
Yeah, and so was Martin Scorsese. Yeah, classic. People that are Spielberg, like all of them are prevalent to this day, with the exception of Lucas now really isn't.
I remember doing a small report over Francis Ford Coppola in college. I think it was over Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I hate that movie.
Me and my wife are actually having a Dracula marathon because she's reading this book called The Historian, and it's about Dracula.
I absolutely love that book.
Oh, she loves it too. We just watched a Dracula film right a minute ago, and that's definitely an interesting Dracula. I mean, I think Gary Oldman did well for like what.
Yeah, it's fine. Why is Keanu Reeves in that movie?
I don't know.
That's such weird casting. I just watched. It was a Christopher Lee Dracula movie that wasn't a Hammer film from the 70s.
Count Dracula?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
me too.
I've seen part of it. It's supposed to be like a.
It was supposed to be the true interpretation of the book.
Fun fact about that, though. Dracula's appearance in that movie was actually the appearance that he had in the book. And they said that's the only version that actually remained true to the novel because he had white hair and a mustache. Like he didn't have like a beard or anything or like, and but they said that was like the closest rendition, and I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. Quality Autism says, for your eyes only and Octopussy are great. A View to Kill is awful, though. I haven't seen A View to a Kill in a long time. I think the last Roger Moore film I saw was Octopussy. So
I just don't like Octopussy at all. Partly because I don't like saying that name for one. Boring. For Your Eyes Only is the best Roger Moore movie since oh god, what was his first movie he did? Yaphet Kotto is the villain, and it's in New Orleans.
That
has the Paul McCartney and Wings song. That
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. Yeah, those two are probably his best, with Man with the Golden Gun in a close third. Those are the three Roger Moore ones I recommend.
I actually have a book of all the James Bond music. I thought I had it in here, but I'll just have to bring it in next time. But I'm trying to think. My favorite. Geez, I can't remember what my favorite was. I do have a James Bond video game over there, though. It's not technically James Bond. It's called GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
Oh, that was the PS2 sequel where you could dual wield literally everything.
Yeah.
I've always found that funny.
I haven't finished it yet, but I think I like the concept of it. Let's see. Quality Autism. What about The Spy Who Loved Me?
Oh, yeah, that one's fine. It's not the best, but it's fine. Mainly, I like that disco rendition of the Bond theme, Bond 77, on the soundtrack. That's one of my favorite versions of the James Bond theme.
I think someone was trying to join in a minute ago, but
Was it our certain special guest?
yeah, said his device wasn't connected. He's probably working on it, but
He's being a boomer, is what he's doing. And if you all know what I mean by that, you know who's coming on.
yeah, it is Matt Wilkins. Booyah!
Okay, I need to talk to you about Crimson Empire 3 right here, right now. Matt's audio works.
I'm listening.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were alive in there. So that comic, I understand where you're coming from, waiting 11 years for that comic. I never read any of the Crimson Empires prior to when Crimson Empire 3 came out. They did that hardcover, if you remember that. And I got that for Christmas. And then I was reading, I'm like, oh, Crimson Empire, that's incredible. I can't believe I didn't read this sooner. 2, oh, that's okay. 3, what a waste of time. That may be Randy Stradley's worst comic he's ever written. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. Why is Luke so not accepting of Kurt Canos and Leia is? I've always thought it should have been the reverse. It never ever made sense to me. It's like,
Well, I mean, Kirk Canis, let's be honest, he wasn't a real big Luke fan for the longest.
yeah, but Luke is one of the most forgiving.
I'm not. That's true too. But sometimes two people, they conflict.
Then why didn't he do that with so much with Mara? Is that just the will of the Force?
Oh, that's because he knew the safety word when dealing with Mara.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you're right. I guess you could say those deserve to be flipped. But Leia is a diplomat.
Yeah.
You're talking to a woman who put Nominar at the table, like thinking he was a rational human being, who put Neil Spar at the table, thinking that he was a rational being. So for me, it makes sense. Yeah, there you go. That's actually the real reason. But for me, it makes sense that Leia would befriend him.
I don't know. It struck because you also reviewed Crystal.
You don't know? Okay, well, all right. He didn't believe Vestara.
Well, while I got you guys here, Rob D asked a question. I feel like this would be a fun question topic. Do you think we'll see more cinematic universes in the future?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's gonna be tons of them. Like we've already. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to tell you what the next one was going to be. I already know there's going to be a crossover. It's going to be the comic strip universe. They're going to take Garfield, Dennis the Menace, team them all up with Marmaduke and Snuffy Smith. It's going to be just an amazing, comic CMU, comic movie universe. It's the comic strip universe. So
I know they're trying to remake the failed Universal Monster universe.
What, for a third time?
Yeah, like what was it? The Wolfman was the first time, and that didn't go over well. And then
Dracula.
Mummy, Dracula. Well, Dracula went underwhelming. Then they said, okay, we're going to go big with Mummy, which was supposed to be, I didn't know this, but it's supposed to be connected to Dracula Untold, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's embarrassing.
I just heard that it was supposed to be connected to that universe because Dracula Untold went under the radar. They went, let's get a big name star to start with the Mummy. I love Tom Cruise, and that's Tom Cruise's worst movie.
Yes, it is.
Tom Cruise's worst movie. I mean, come on. I'd watch Cocktail over again than I would watch
Don't talk
Mummy.
about Cocktail. That movie's magical. I am equally a Tom Cruise apologist as you are, Matt.
Universe stuff.
Stop with the Cinematic Universe stuff. You know what I will start with? I'm reading The Lost Road, History of Middle Earth, Book 5. That's where I'm at right now. I think last week I was on book 3, but now I'm on book 5, chucking through it.
Oh, for everyone who's been watching, Matt is the reason I started watching all the Hellraiser movies because I didn't realize there were 10 of them.
Yeah.
So I
Actually,
sat
go ahead.
through all 10 of them now. And that last one is only slightly better than the 9th one. But that's because they're slightly like trying to make a movie.
It's obvious they couldn't afford Doug whatever. They only could afford
for the last two of them.
They only paid him for one day's work, and they filmed all of his scenes for one day. Care Bear Cinematic Universe, yeah. Watch it because the Care Bear cousins are going to have their own spin-off movie. Whoever No Heart is going to have his own cinematic universe.
I saw the recent Invisible Man film, and it was actually pretty good. So
yeah,
I hear people say that.
And before they canceled the cinematic universe that was tied to the Mummy and Dracula Untold, I think Johnny Depp was supposed to play the Invisible Man.
Oh,
was he?
Yeah, he was supposed to play Griffin. That's the name of the Invisible Man, and I could see it. I mean, but I don't know. I like this new movie. It was actually pretty good.
Did you ever think we'd be talking about Tom Cruise's Cocktail like 2 minutes into me being on this show?
Did I ever tell you that the Cocktail soundtrack on cassette was played every day at my job?
Shut the front door. Why?
Because
that's
it's
awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah, we wore out the cassette because I played it so many times at work.
Speaking of shut the front door, we have STFU, Star Trek Film Universe.
That's funny.
I was going to ask, like, what all are you reading now, Matt? I think you told us what
The Lost Road and Other Stories, The History of Middle Earth, Book 5 by Christopher Tolkien. Right now, it is the weakest of the 5. I remember it was the last one that I took into my collection because I couldn't find it anyway. But eBay wasn't that big a deal back then. You couldn't find everything on eBay. And I remember I was helping a buddy move, and I was putting books on the bookshelf for him. And I put up that's the only one he had. He didn't have any other books of Lost World, just that. I was like, he went, that's the one you need, right? I went, maybe. Because he knew it was, and he said, okay, go buy me groceries. So I bought him like $50 worth of groceries so I could get the book because I couldn't find it anywhere. So he wanted $50 for it, but I got him groceries instead, and I got the book. I was so happy.
I found the Lays of Bellion to be the weakest, but that's because I don't like reading poetry particularly.
Let me just say, the best Tom Cruise movie is easily Vanilla Sky.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me?
I like Top Gun. I can tell you that.
I like Vanilla Sky. Oh gosh, there's a lot of Tom Cruise movies I like.
My favorite is probably the Stanley Kubrick film Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut is good. You have I was kind of kidding with Vanilla Sky, but I can't think of one that I like better. Hold on, he's made tons of great movies. Collateral was really good.
Yeah, that's what Rob D said a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rob D said Collateral. Yeah, Collateral's really good. I'm trying to think.
Minority Report.
A Minority Report. Oh, no. Live, Die, Repeat, man. That's got to be my number one.
Yeah, I'll second you there.
I forgot about that one. Minority Report. But even did he make one called Oblivion? Was that right?
Yeah.
I thought that was fine. It was fine.
It's okay. It's not great. Oh, Mission Impossible.
All the Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol has got to be up there too. Probably not as good as Live, Die, Repeat. Tropic Thunder. Holy cow. He kind of guest starred in that one, but yes, he's fantastic in Tropic Thunder.
Right.
Valkyrie.
Of when offensive humor like that was still acceptable to put in a film.
Magnolia. He's good in Magnolia too. He's wonderful in Magnolia.
Born on the 4th of July.
That's a great film too. Lived out. No, it was called. Cause I saw it before they switched. I was
Tomorrow.
What, Edge of Tomorrow? Yeah, I saw it in theaters, Edge of Tomorrow, and I was confused when it came out in video. I was like, wait, what? But wasn't there supposed to be a sequel to that?
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't put it past Hollywood to try to do that.
I don't know. World of Worlds was fine with Tom Cruise. He just does great films, man. I absolutely love Tom Cruise. The Last Samurai, which I thought was going to be garbage, was great.
Yeah. That's the last Hans Zimmer soundtrack that was actually good before he decided that French horns
Copy and paste
his soundtracks.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been a big fan, but The Mummy, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I love Tom Cruise, and I was like, when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, well, you know what? I would never go see this movie, but Tom Cruise is in it, so it's got to be good, and I just don't see it. Nope, it sucked.
The only film I can think of that's equally as bad that Tom Cruise is in is the Brooke Shields film Endless Love, which he's in for about 5 minutes, I think.
He just makes it. I'm saying that he stars in. There's a lot of early 80s movies. I can't remember. There's another one where he's like a young teenager, and he and 3 teenagers go to Mexico for the weekend or something.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And they're all deplorable people, but it's a terrible film.
I mean, he's in Outsiders, if I'm not mistaken.
He does a good job. Is he in The Outsiders? What's that? He has a side part in it, that military. He's in that military school.
Oh, God. Yeah. I forgot.
Taps, was it?
Taps, which is actually really good. He played a good character.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one.
Far and Away is great.
Even though his accent is hilariously bad.
It's really bad, but I like Far and Away. Far and Away, man, that's a great one. I saw the trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yes, I saw it too.
It's hard for John Wick to act stupid, but God bless Keanu Reeves. I love that man. I'm going to go see it. When the theaters open back up and they put that in film, I will go see that in theaters. I thought Bill and Ted, I like the second movie. A lot of people pooped on the second movie. I like the second movie. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. The first 2 movies are fine. They're just silly, stupid fun. The fact that Keanu Reeves does not need this to revive his career. He's doing it because he wants to do it.
Yeah, that's the best part.
And that is the best. A lot of times people, like Pee Wee Herman makes another Pee Wee Herman film because he wants to reboot his career. Few Good Men, fantastic movie. Anyway, the thing is, though, Keanu Reeves is doing it for fun. And I can't wait to see that movie. I cannot. It's so funny because he's trying to act like, they're trying to act like Bill and Ted again. But I can only see John Wick. And I love me some John Wick. Yeah. By the way, there's a few people that, I wish truly existed in this world. John Wick and Jack Bauer are 2 of them. But John Wick, man, I was thinking about what's the most fun I had in theaters last year. Without a shadow of a doubt, John Wick 3. If you didn't see that in theaters, you should go beat yourself with the wet bamboo stick out in your backyard, folks. Shame on you.
I have numerous times because I just lost track of time. I didn't see it.
Well,
have you seen it
right
now? Okay. Have you seen it now?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen the first one.
How do I boot myself? This is incredible. What are you talking about?
I had to watch all 10 Hellraiser movies because we referenced them on Princes of the Universe.
Hey, some of them weren't so bad, huh?
Oh, no, those first were incredible.
Yeah, the first few that went direct to DVD were actually pretty good. I remember me and my cousin were renting them back then, and I said, that's probably the best movie of the night because they had some good ideas that they were doing. And then they went to just straight up garbage.
You have to understand, after 3, up until the 9th one, none of those movies were originally Hellraiser movies.
Yeah, they were other scripts, and they just threw Hellraiser in at the end. You could tell.
The Cenobites don't act like Cenobites after 2.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The review, the Prince of the Universe podcast, where we had Will on about the girls eating vomit.
Oh, yeah.
Or something out of buckets.
Yeah, that was so disgusting. The 10th one, Judgments, was it was so stupid.
It was really, it tried to be witty and cool. And see, I'll be honest, Curse of Chucky is not that bad. You know, as the Chucky franchise goes, it takes a step in the right direction where Seed of Chucky was going off the rails.
Oh God, I forgot I never saw Curse of Chucky.
Curse of Chucky, if you're a Chucky fan, I think you'd like it. It's a little, it turns the series to make it a little bit better than Bride and Seed of Chucky, even though those are fun watches. But they're all about continuity. They're all about continuity, and that's one thing I love.
It's like with Tremors, like you have to appreciate, whether you like it or you don't, you have to appreciate that they try to keep things in continuity.
And Tremors is doing that. Tremors 7. I saw well, it says leaked footage, but I don't believe it's leaked. Even though the source is credible, I just don't believe that the footage can look that good. But I'm excited for Tremors 7. Island Fury, baby, starring John Heder, right, from Napoleon Dynamite.
And Tremors?
Yeah, he's going to be in the next Tremors film. He's going to go, oh, did they have large talons? No, he's not going to say that. But if he does play Napoleon Dynamite in Tremors, doesn't Universal own the rights to Napoleon Dynamite? That's what we need. We need Napoleon Dynamite in the Tremors universe. Shoot, bring Hellraiser in the Tremors universe. I don't care. Universal has rights to so many things. They should be crossing over these. You know, they thought for one asinine moment to put what was it, 90210? No, is it Beverly Hills Cop and Men in Black together?
What?
It was Men in Black and Jump Street. They actually entertained doing a crossover between 21 Jump Street, the movie, and Men in Black, the reboot.
Did they actually make a video game of this? Bill and Ted?
Yeah, it's bad. It's released by LJN.
That's it. I never heard of it.
AVGN reviewed it.
Shut up, quality. Okay, I want to see John Wick. Excuses. You should have failed that test and gone to see John Wick 3. Hey, if you were while watching John Wick 3, Rob, you would have they would have given you subliminal messages to help you write your paper better. That's how good John Wick 3 is. By the way, shame on you both for not watching John Wick. Watch the first one. It's incredible. The second one's good, but it's the weakest one.
I have seen John Wick.
The second one?
The first one.
Shut your mouth, filthy mouth here. I'm talking about the second one now. Second one has one of the best endings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the second one's good.
Second one's good. But the third one is just bonkers. And quality, I did not know that. That is so interesting.
Well, that explains a lot.
But this is the worst teacher ever. Do you know what happens in Bride of Chucky? They make the Seed of Chucky in it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's when the dolls are getting it on, right? What happened in class during that happened? You're like, I wonder what playtime's going to look like this time at recess.
It's all right, Yak Face. I was in a class where a kid smoked a cigarette and the substitute was too old and didn't know what was going on.
The craziest thing that ever happened is I remember this kid. His name was Charlie Wallace. Remember his first and last name too. Charlie Wallace we were kicking the soccer ball and he kicked a little hornet's nest, dirt daubers in the sand in the ground, and they went all up his pants like he was like ow ow ow, and the teacher was like slapping his pants to try to kill the bugs. Well, she's had to just strip him down to his undies.
That never happened.
It did. No, he did. She pulled down his pants in front of God and everyone, and then got rid of the bees that were stinging him. And so he had these little stings on his legs, but he was in his whitey tighties, and I was like, this is kind of awkward. That was the most weirdest thing. This is the 80s, folks. No one thought anything else, I mean, and by the way, just like Napoleon Dynamite, we played tetherball. I killed it. I killed in tetherball. I was fantastic in tether. In fact, my school, this is weird, it shut down when I left because a lot of kids were leaving at the same time we left. It is still, I checked with my wife just this past year. We went by, 2 years ago, we went by. The classroom is still locked, and the tables and chairs are stacked exactly how they were when we left, because I helped Dad stack the tables and chairs and everything.
That's kind of cool.
It's never been open. I don't think it's ever been open. But the thing is, though, that it's remained that way for 20 something years. It was next to a church. They've used the church, but the church never used the schoolrooms because they never were that big. They never needed the schoolrooms. So the schoolrooms in the back, the front row, the schoolrooms have been taken out. They've been replaced by church offices. But the back, there is a back schoolhouse, and that's still the same.
Oh my gosh! Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh!
Was he okay? If he died, I'm going to feel this bad about laughing just now. We had someone in college. We had someone rappel down the down 3 floors of the building. We were on the 3rd floor, and he was talking. He was in the ROTC or whatever, and they talked about how they do rappelling. And he opened up the window and showed how you secure the hook and everything. You wrap the rope around you. He said, and then you go. And then he flipped out down the window. Everyone, and then he just rappelled down the. It was a speech class. He got an F. I know another kid. He brought a. I'm not kidding. A 12-foot python to class too. He hid it in a duffel bag. Didn't tell anyone, and then brought it out for show and tell. And everyone ran screaming to the back, but me, because I was too stupid to realize it was a real python. I thought it was a fake one. And that thing kept slithering up to me and was licking my boots. I was like, man, it thinks my boots are 2 tasty rabbits. And I would go, hey, Chuck. And he'd go, oh, okay, man. And he'd pull that big python back, and it would slide around, and then it'd look at me, or anaconda or something. I mean, it'd come back down. His father had a snake farm. That's how he had it.
Oh, okay.
And so I know, but that was the most insane class I have ever attended in college. Crazy stuff. I had to do an apology speech because I insulted someone. We may save that one for after hours, but
a friend of mine told me that there was this philosophy class that he was taking. The very first assignment they had to do, the professor came in and said, okay, I want you guys to write a paper, however long it takes you, to tell me why this chair, he just grabs a chair and puts it up at the front of the class, says, why this chair does not exist. All you got to do, write your name, answer it, and then you can go. He's the only one that ever got an A in that paper because all he did was say, what chair? Everybody else was like writing paragraphs. Yeah. All he did was like, what chair? He's the only one that got an A.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
But we did have a like what you were talking about, like when your school shut down. There was a abandoned dorm room on my campus, and we saw when you walk by it at night, it's kind of creepy because there's some windows that were broken, and you could swear that you saw writing on the wall. Well, when I first met my wife, I was walking around. I was getting to know her. We were walking around the campus and everything, and she I think asked me well, what's up with this building? And I just made up this completely bogus story about how me and my friends, went inside that building, and all this spooky crap happened. And then she was just so invested, whoa, did that happen? I'm like, no. And then she just hit me in the arm.
I got shanked at school in high school.
Yeah, but you live in California, so.
I mean, you understand, I come from a time when every school is panicked that it's either going to get shot up or blown up. So
I think. Oh, go ahead.
We would have it. I lived in an older community where we had a lot of elderly people, but people would claim oh my God, that guy's got a gun. And then this whole school would lock down. It was just an elderly man who was lost, and he walked on the high school campus with a cane. This happened 5 times.
It's funny. He said he was funny, didn't he? The teacher didn't even know he laughed. No, I've been laughing at the comments here. Sure you did, yak face. Sure you did.
Was that a guy at cat land on his feet, or did he survive that?
Y'all remember that old video before YouTube was around about the kid who who showed you how to survive correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a 3-story drop from a school building.
No, I don't remember.
He did a flip and jumped off, and then when he hit the ground, he just started rolling. He continued his motion. And then he got up and it was, this is back before you could fake videos either. and this is early 2000, and he would do it, and he kept jumping off the building and doing flips afterward. He hit the ground. He'd hit the ground and just keep his momentum rolling, and he'd pop up like he was fine. I was like, unbelievable. How did you do that?
Well, I
So
never
maybe it was that kid, Rob D.
I never brought a snake to school, but I did. My parents had a built-in pond in their front yard, and I found a salamander by it one day, and I'm like, our school science teacher had a small aquarium, and she had like tadpoles in there. So I'm just like, she would actually probably appreciate this. So I brought the salamander to the class one day, and then I brought, I also found some tadpoles in the pond, and I brought them, but I didn't know that when I put the tadpoles in the tank, there was a newt in there. So I went back to class like, hey, what happened to all the tadpoles? Like, oh yeah, I forgot there was a newt in there. I'm like, uh-oh.
Did the newt look at you and go, they come at night? Sorry. Mostly. I actually, you know what? I wish you would have done the story. I was like, you just said, yeah. So I went to school and I found a salamander. Okay, so let's go to the next question. I thought you were punking us there for a minute. I was gonna say that's awesome. Go ahead.
I was like, no, I did find a salamander, and I tried to take it to school, but I don't think the what? Did you find the comment?
No, I'm listening to you.
Oh yeah, I found it at my house. I'm like, maybe the school science teacher would like it, but I don't think she wanted it, so I just brought her tadpoles instead.
Rob D says he landed in the shrubs. Was that his happy place? Was it like Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox and Brer Bear? They just threw him in the thicket, what's it called, the briar patch? He's jumped on in there.
There you go.
You can't have him here. It's funny. I remember there's one kid who got a spanking just about every day. They used to spank us in class back in the day, back in the 80s. You got whoopings.
That was because you went to school where? What state?
Mississippi.
It happened here too.
That would have happened in California.
Where the salmon flow like what's it called? Like where the women flow like the salmon of the Capistrappi. What's the quote from Dumb and Dumber?
I don't
know.
I don't
where the women flow like the salmon. I can't remember what he said. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm proud of that. I'm proud. The principal we called it the 6-fingered man, because he had the paddle was a hand, but it had 5 fingers and a thumb. So it was the 6-fingered hand. And if he whooped you with the 6-fingered hand, you were going to feel it. And you could see him coming because there were 3 windows that led up to the front door. And you'd see that the teacher would call the principal's office, and the kid would still be acting up. And then when you see the principal coming,
that's really true.
That is true. That's today's world now. What kind of backwards? My own school still paddle scale. Hey, good for you. I hope I don't know if they paddle any schools here. I'll have to ask. That's going to be one of the requirements when my kids get to go there. Do you paddle your children? Do you paddle the children here? No, sir. Then you're not getting my business.
Well, it's a spare the rod, spoil the child sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Who got spanked as a kid?
I did for a while. Actually, you know what? My mom used to just slap my face.
And you see how Jeremy turned out. I'm kidding.
I honestly, like with my sister and me, like spanking us didn't work. What they would do is they'd put me on my bed and they'd have me face the wall and they'd take all my toys away that were on the bed. And I would just sit there. They'd take the pillows away too and my blanket and stuff. And I wasn't allowed to lay down, and I would just sit there and I'd lose my mind. I could
tell. Know who else? So you just like they'd literally put you in a corner and just make you look at the wall, like the Blair Witch. Exactly.
They may have gotten it from that, but
that's how they got it. They saw Tommy staring at the wall at the end of the Blair Witch and said, "That's a great idea. Let's do that to Jeremy."
Yeah, I mean,
as we kill Talia. for whatever she did just now.
Born. She wasn't born yet. I bit my mom when when she was at a polling place. Like she was just ignoring me and voting, and I could not handle it because I was a fairly decent small child, and I just like chomped on her, and all of the old people that were volunteering at the polling place yelled at me, which was like one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
That's great.
And then and I got sent to the corner of my bed, looked at the wall. Apparently, it was supposed to be, I think it was an hour that they just left me there. But
what's your kid in for? Biting. Serious offense.
I remember. Go ahead.
With my sister, it was we had to just ignore her and like just act like she wasn't there, and she would just lose her mind. Is there kids yelling?
Yeah, I think so, but keep going. I'll have to get them in a minute.
But go on.
No. Go on.
Well, I was gonna say, I remember the first time I saw this. I thought I was gonna get spanked for this, but I didn't. But I remember watching Miss Doubtfire and hearing the term "piss off" for the first time, and I was like maybe like 6 when that happened. And my mom like was walking into the house, and I just looked at her and said, "You know, piss off," and then I just saw her go. I'm just like, what? I heard it in a movie. Don't blame me. Blame the movie.
I like, that's funny. I like how All American Cornbread drilled holes in the paddle just here at Whistle while it swung. That's a letter. And this is the Spanking Podcast. Hi, welcome. Come get your whooping. Piper, I laugh because Piper bites Megan all the time. She's got those new, the baby newborns, Adam. Sometimes they bite. She will bite Megan. She bit the fire out of Megan. Megan screams. She has the teeth marks on her leg now. And whenever Piper plays with me, she don't bite Daddy. She will not, but she gets so excited she'll bite Megan. It's the funniest thing because Megan goes, "Did she bite you?" I said, "No." She comes up and she just rubs her face on me, but she doesn't bite.
Yeah, my daughter bit my grandmother, and I think my wife, but she hasn't bitten me yet. And she's got the newborn chompers too.
Well, I did, but my wife goes, "Look at this! It broke skin." I went, "Okay, well, if you turn into a drooling zombie, then I'll kill you. But what's your point? The baby bit you. Who cares? And it's funny because little babies, and Adam, this, they're like zombies. They go through stuff just mindlessly, and then they hear a noise. They go, "Ah." And they go straight to the noise of whatever just happened. Like Megan went to the bathroom, and they're like, "Ah, mama," and they just scatter. And this one of them, Meridian, loves to take a diaper out of the trash can and then run around with it because she knows she's not supposed to have it. I'm like, you got a billion toys on the floor, and you want that dirty, poopy diaper. That's
daughter
what you want.
Always goes for the diaper genie. Like she just sees it. She's just like. Just like
I told Megan, I said, this is why we don't buy them toys until they're like 4. They love cardboard, but they love trash. They get out pieces of trash. Meridian digs her hand in the trash where she can only reach the top, but she'll grab whatever's in the trash and give some to her sister, and then get a piece of trash for herself. And they're there looking at they're looking at little a Sonic cup holder, and they're playing with that. They've got toys everywhere, but no, that Sonic plastic cup holder is a thing that they want to play with. Why? Because it's garbage. It's garbage.
One of my daughter's favorite things to play with is a water bottle. She loves, she just for some reason loves like this. She loves that noise.
I goes, "Hey, here's what we did. You put some rice, just some dried rice, in the bottle and have them shake it, and it makes noise. They'll play with it all day. All day." On the next one, All American Cornbread, we did that for my dad once. Yep. Had to strip butt naked and get our paddling butt naked. That was a bad day because once he spanked us, he could feel that there was extra pad in there, and that was the end. That was the end. I used to have 7 brothers. I only have 4. I'm kidding.
Matt, I just remembered a good whooping story I got. Actually,
I'm ready.
The 2 times my dad's ever smacked me were like both like the most deserved. So one time I got mad and I charged at him and he kicked me and I flew across the room. And the other time, like, so one day, like he came home, I was like, oh, probably 11, and he was just like acting sore and he was grumpy. So I kicked him in the ass. I kicked him real hard in the tailbone and ran away, like cackling. And then like Halloween, he gets me. He's like, I said something rude, and he's like, "Yeah, you think it's funny?" And he kicked me in the ass, but he missed my ass. And he hit me right in the taint. It was like literally the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And we were like out trick or treating, and he just like walked away.
Goodness gracious! So, changing topics since we're going down the road of taints. I sent Jeremy a text yesterday, Adam. I didn't send it to you. I got the picture. We went to that was a discount, liquidation store.
Okay.
They had 1 billion Star Wars new comic book trade paperbacks for like $5 to $7. I mean, all the new stuff is crap. However, they had those super nice. I forgot to take a picture of the other one, the hardback Legends collection. Yeah. They had book one from Marvel, whichever ones those collect, and then they had the one I showed you was really nice because it's the UK collection. It's kind of the rarities. I have them all because Dark Horse did them a long time ago. But it has like the Ewok Annual in it, a lot of Star Wars weeklies.
Yeah.
Anything that was UK exclusive was in this hardback. Okay, $15. $15 for that hardback.
That was awesome. When they did that, when they came out with that, I was thinking, okay, we're gonna get Dark Empire next. They're gonna go from release order, and they're just gonna release these big hardcover omnibuses that Marvel does. Never did it. Never. They're not gonna touch Instead, they went and they skipped and they did. Oh, the Marvel Jason Aaron omnibus, which, as I stated earlier, is a pile of anal waste.
Well, they need to get the Tales of the Jedi omnibus back out. People would buy that up like hotcakes.
Did I tell you my Tales of the Jedi?
That's Jeremy's next podcast. It's gonna be Taint Talk.
I mean, I think we do talk about my taint on Backpedalers.
Oh gosh. Yes, you did once.
Which post are you talking about, Rob?
The one over. No, I see what he wanted. The one over your right shoulder. Yes, next to Jaws.
Oh no, that's the Joker. That's Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the one I think you're talking about, right, Rob D? I don't see another bison.
No, I mean I got Star Wars
because the live logo is over the Joker's face and it's kind of dark. You can't really see what that is. I thought it was some kind of animal too, unless he's talking about Godzilla. Or whatever that green monster is. You know, everyone knows that Godzilla is gray and looks like a dinosaur. By the way, I play Come With Me all the time now. Thank you very much for letting me watch that movie again. That's joy. Look at that. All 107 Marvel issues, Joys and Ewoks, and all the UK stuff are available in omnibus hardbacks. Oh, yeah, is that for Marvel?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right on.
I used to have them, remember? And they had to be.
Why would Marvel reprint the Droids and Ewoks and not Tales of the Jedi or X-Wing?
They were doing the Droids and Ewoks Marvel stuff that was spin off of the cartoon.
So you were talking about the 90s Godzilla that you enjoyed watching again?
Yeah.
1998, man, it was fantastic. I loved it. You know, I crashed the podcast and or the live watch where Geeks Addict was just trying patiently to watch the movie that was really good, and I kept just talking about everything because I was not watching the movie. And then the next night when my wife told me she hadn't read it, I said, well, let's read it together. Let's watch it together. And absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Every minute of it was great. Yes, there's my buddy.
I used to, one of my friends.
It looks just like Godzilla. I love it.
Yeah, my mom actually, when she and my dad sold their house out here in Oklahoma, they went through all my old stuff, and I didn't even know I still had that, and they found it, and they sent it home with me. I'm just like, nice.
I forgot to tell y'all something.
What's up?
Highlander The Return of the Immortal has been fully translated into English now. The German novel.
Have you read it?
It got completed last night, I think, if I'm right. No, I'm mistaken. I have not read it yet. I want to finish Lost Road. I almost started it today because I was so excited. But I got the last chapter. I'm going to finish Lost Road and then go read it. Tessa's in it, so it happens very early in the series.
Okay. And it's not one of those awful imagined spin-offs where they're like, oh, what
No,
if...
this was the first book to come out was actually in Germany, and it was Return of the Immortal, and it happened around season 1 or season 2. It was very early in the Highlanders TV show. It's not very long. It looks like it was only 14 chapters, so it was maybe a short book, but all those books were only 180 pages or 190. They weren't that long. I mean, they were all of them. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them went 214 pages once, but most of them were well under 200 pages. So this one I can imagine being short, but I can't wait to read it. Because that was when I found out about it, I'd finished all the books. I was like, okay, I think I got it all. I was like, oh no, they made another one. And then I said, oh, it's in Germany. And then this guy said, every week I'm going to come out with a chapter. And over the weekend, he went ahead and just finished it. He said, I just went ahead and just knocked them all out. So, yeah,
Nice.
Got it on my computer. I'll be reading. I want to finish Lost World because I don't want. I was doing something where I'd read like 2 different books at the same time. I thought that was really cool. Take a break from one, read the other. But I'd rather just go ahead and finish the one I'm in. You know, and I'm 200 and something pages in, 230 pages in, I think, to Lost Road. I mean, it's only 412 pages, so I should be finished. Well, I got a busy schedule coming up. Hey, folks, check me out on the Thunder Pop podcast.
Thunder Pop?
Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah, I got to do the Thunder Pop podcast. I go on there every once in a while. He's a guy out of Houston, I think. Yeah, Houston or Austin. He's a really good guy. We've done a few podcasts together once in a while, but he's a fun guy.
Oh.
Just like Germany and oh, really? See, yeah. And as if on cue. That's really nice that you got those though. I can't wait for you to review those.
Yeah, I can't wait to read them either, and review them too, because we mentioned now I think all of us have a copy from Paper Movies. So maybe at some point we'll do it on Paper Movies too. So
I kind of want to do that. Well, we're doing. Oh God, I can't even say that. I can't spoil what we're doing next month.
Wow, $5. That's insane. The Legends books are well worth it, but like I said, all of those new Dark Horse comic books or Marvel comic books, they were like $5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thicker ones were maybe $7, but they were $5, and I was like, shut up! No one wants that stuff. No one wants that stuff.
What did I tell you? I think I said that they would be it should be used as toilet paper.
Yeah, and they had toilet paper there too. Actually, I bought another roll of I'm on my 30-day diet, so the only thing I could get there was the man. But they had the big old bag of the pretzel bites that I love. They had those for almost as for like $1.50 more than the small little bags I get. This is a big jumbo bag. I was like, yeah,
it wasn't
talking about
the barrel of cheese puffs that Dylan ate in one sitting.
I don't know if they had those there, but they did have box of Twinkies for like $1 off. It was $1 cheaper. It was like $2.99 instead of $3.99 at the store. I was like, heck yeah, Twinkie time. I didn't get a box of Twinkies this time around because, like I said, with a box of Twinkie cereal, my 30-day diet would be busted. So can't have that around the house.
I'm still working on my box of Twinkie cereal.
How dare you, sir? You should have had that finished by the time you bought it.
It's almost done. It's almost done.
Whatever. I think they're tasty, but they taste like the powdered donut cereal. That's my only complaint. Is powdered donut cereal, the donuts, I think it's what it's called, it's from the same company, Hostess. I was like, dude, you just take the donuts formula, put yellow dye in it, and put it in the form of a Twinkie. That's all you did. That was lazy. I like the taste, but do you think they will reprint some Epic collections in time? Well, I wish they would. I don't know why Marvel isn't. They're doing all the other stuff, but it seems like they're just copying stuff that Dark Horse just recently did. Why not do more like that?
Well, they were doing.
It was an Ollie's. It was an Ollie's. Yeah, All American Cornbread. We just got an Ollie's in Louisiana, where we live.
So I've been collecting the Marvel Epic collections recently because I don't have any of the comics anymore, and I've noticed that they're trying to do them in chronological order. So the next 2 volumes, actually no, the next 3, because they have them in different eras. So the Empire Volume 6 or 7 that's coming out is Agent of the Empire. That's what's next, because they just did the Droids comics,
Those are fun.
Droids, and I think the Yavin Basilica has come out, but I'm not sure because I don't own that one. Then they're going to do, or they just did Clone Wars Volume 3, which has Obsession in it. So they're
that's a good one. I was just talking about Obsession right before I came on here.
That's a solid mini. And then in the fall, we got the Dark Empire trilogy is getting re-released. That's
nice. That'd be nice. That's a big one.
And
All American. Oh, go ahead.
We got Tales of the Jedi Volume 1 coming out, but you know what's actually in it?
What?
Dawn of the Jedi. All of Dawn. So next year we'll actually start to get actual Tales of the Jedi coming out.
Hopefully. All American Cornbread. You live in Mobile, Alabama, right? I think you do, because that's the Ollie's that we would always stop at. Is the one right outside Mobile, or maybe it is Mobile still. Before you go down that frontage road to get on the highway to Mississippi. I can't remember. Sims, I think, before you get to Sims.
Secondhand copies are so overpriced.
Really? That's sad. I hate that. And we were talking about, I was talking to someone was asking me, I told you I had to talk to a friend of mine before I came here. He was asking me a bunch of Star Wars questions, and one of them was about the Junior Jedi Knights. I went, yeah, I need to get those. I went, good luck.
I have half of them. Actually, no.
So does everyone. You have how many?
4 of the 6 of them.
That's not bad. Which 2 are you missing?
Let's take a look. BRB.
BRB.
BRB. Be our guest.
I'm missing 4.
4?
4 and 6 are the 2 I'm missing. Yeah. I was actually looking into collecting those 2 Adventures in Hyperspace, the Han Solo YA novels they did in the EU that Ryder Wynnum wrote. Because I've never owned those.
Oh, you mean like what was it?
Yeah, Face. I go to that Ollie's all the time. Not all the time, but whenever I go down that way to visit my grandmother, I'm always at that Ollie's. I got my Auburn pressure cooker there. Oh, should I mention I was an Auburn fan? You already know I'm an Auburn fan. Me drinking from this.
I have to ask, by the way, each time I see you drink that, I always want to ask, what is inside that? I mean, like, is it like water or Coke or something, or?
The blood of unborn dolphins.
Oh, okay.
No, it's water. It's water. This is my daily intake. I mean, it's the big gallon jug thing. It's my daily intake of water that I have to take. But the thing is, though, I've been a day behind. I mean, I've been a day ahead for like a whole week because I drank 2 of these one day. I was like, well, that means I can drink. That's I can get my Coke Zero as a reward if I drink all this. And usually I don't get to drink all this. But I remember one time this weekend I was taking the girls out for walks. It was really hot, and I just kept chugging it. I was like, man, I think I could take another one of these because I didn't feel like a Coke. And I found out on this diet, I'm not really feeling like Cokes and colas. That was my one thing that I was missing. Now, I think the thing I miss the most is bread. That's it, just bread. Because I can go without Cokes and colas. I've been drinking like this. This will be my second one for the day. I'll still moving ahead here. But
bread in 2 months because I haven't felt like buying yet.
Say what?
I haven't had bread in 2 months because I haven't felt like buying.
Yeah.
Maybe if Marvel would actually print the Evasive Action comics and Rookies came through their Epic Collection line.
Quality, I'm glad a Hungry Ewok helped you out with that. It's good. It's good. Let me ask, because I heard quality. Are the hyperspace? Does a Hungry Ewok help you out with hyperspace stories? I heard they don't, but I thought they did.
Rash Queen song, the theme from Flash Gordon or Princes of
Prince
the
of the
Universe.
Universe. Get out of here, Prince of the Universe.
Flash.
Get out of here, Prince of the Universe.
Ah!
Yeah, Prince. That whole A Kind of Magic, that whole Queen album is just more consistent than the Flash soundtrack.
All American Cornbread. My mom's side went to Auburn. My dad's side. My dad graduated from Alabama in law. So
Okay, I have to ask just because you guys mentioned it. What is Ollie's?
Ollie's is a liquidation store. It's really nice. It's kind of it's not as it's just a really nice store. It's really things are discounted at decent prices, and they got a little bit of everything. The thing that I really like that they didn't really have that many good stuff on was they have board games, and sometimes decent board games too for a low price. Now my Ollie's wasn't big on the board games, sadly. And the odd thing is, it's right next to a board game store. I'm in the same shopping center as a board game, the one board game store we have in town. And I'm hoping the board game store isn't going there and taking all the good board games out, because I was like, oh man. But I couldn't find anything, and that kind of disappointed me, except for the Han Solo Sabacc game. They just called it Han Solo's card game. It's basically Sabacc. I do like that deck of cards, but it's a different Sabacc than what I played.
Didn't you?
So
So I played Sabacc with you. That's from West End Games, right?
yeah, that's from West End Games. I have in fact, I still, no, here it is right here. Still have the deck. Yeah. This is the deck of cards. I laminated them, and then made my own deck, but it's actually from the West End Games, Cloud City. I can't remember what it's called. Not Crisis on Cloud City. That's the Young Jedi Knights, but it was something like that. So I just cut them out, because you could cut them out. I cut them out, laminated them, and have my own deck to play. You remember Dylan was stoked when he came over.
Yeah,
because he saw that I had the old West End Games when we play, and that's what we did play. We did play this. It's a lot of fun. I actually just recently played this last year for the Billboard fundraiser, and had a great time. I've always been wanting to play Sabacc, but how do you play a game that not many people outside of the expanded universe know what it is? You know, Now, I'll be honest, those Han Solo cards look nice, but that's not Sabacc. It's a game like Sabacc, but I don't think it's Sabacc. But I love the look of those cards. It only costs $5 at Ollie's.
I wouldn't mind learning how to play it. So,
Yak Face War Eagle.
21.
Say what?
But Ollie's is a great store.
Oh.
Hey, All American Cornbread. What if you feel like telling me what town in Alabama are you from? Because we've been to Montgomery. I have a good friend in Montgomery, and my mom grew up in Gadsden, which is North Alabama.
We don't have Ollie's out here in Oklahoma. Like, it's not discounted, but we have vintage stock. That's what we have, and
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I like it. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, but I mean, the only thing that's like discounted are the used items, like video games or something like that. But in my experience, you can find almost anything there. Like, I mean, geek nerd related, but
all right on. No, I mean, like Ollie's. It's not just. I mean, there's some toys there, good, decent toys that just went, past their prime. No one wants them. Carpets, flooring.
Oh,
a little bit of everything. A little bit. I mean, yeah, auto things, kitchen, house appliance. Yeah, not appliances, but small things. Like I got a big pressure. That big pressure cooker cost me like $20. And it's really nice. It's bigger than our old one. And our old one, the lid didn't clamp down anymore. So I was like, oh man, we're gonna get a new one.
Let's see.
Chilton County. Okay.
But
my grandmother's from Daphne, so
I think you say that every other live stream I'm on.
Probably so.
Because I'm like,
well, I can't remember if I talked. I know I told Yak Face that, but I don't know about All American Cornbread. I didn't know.
But Matt, I almost said it for you.
Oh, you could. I mean, you could have. That's fine.
But that would.
I go to Pensacola too. Norm from the board game museum's there, and that's where I go to visit him every summer. I don't. Let me see. There's a great flea market somewhere around Montgomery, and we forgot where it was because we can't remember how we got there. We were just kind of driving around the state just because we had the time. That was back before we had kids. So we were just driving around the state, just hitting up random flea markets. And somewhere outside of Montgomery, we found an awesome one. Like they set up in an old supermarket. And so there's tons of room, you know, and in there, like an old Brooks or something. There, and it was just rows and rows of just interesting stuff to look at. And we said, man, we need to come back here. And for the life of me, I can't find it. We even drove back through there a few years ago and couldn't find it.
That's actually a cool question. What do you think is the most epic thing that you bought from like maybe like a flea market or Goodwill or something like that?
It's a tough question because there's a lot of stuff, and I don't know what would have been the best from a flea market. I mean, I did get one of my banks, both of my Ewok banks from the 80s from a flea market, and the girls actually love them. That's Kanisha, and then Wicked is, where's Wicked? The girls love playing with these.
Are they plastic?
Yeah, they're plastic.
Okay.
And then there's Wicked. And those are from I think these are from the cartoon. I don't it may be copyright 1983, but mid 80s. So that was a nice find for me. Of course, I'm an Ewok guy. A lot of my stuff, I got this little action figure from the little Ewok action figure. So if I find something Ewok, I stole. So what?
I have the same action figure I got as a kid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, but I don't know, because I know that I found good deals. I can tell you I'm looking at a board game that I got from a flea market. It wasn't like that was a great. I mean, it was only $1, which was good for me. Oh no, I got Can't Stop for $1. Can't Stop is a great game. Man, I don't know. Did you what was your best one, Adam?
Well, at the moment, I got this TV stand that's over here that was like for $7, and it's great. I mean, because, but the materials for my Riddler costume I got at a Goodwill, and I'm just trying to. I bought an electric organ one time for $50, and when I tested it out in the store, it worked. So I'm just like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to put it in my college apartment. And I had a buddy of mine help me lift it up 3 flights of stairs. And then I got it up there and it didn't work.
Oh, no. Then I bought an Intellivision flashback for $5, which was a lot of fun because I used to play Intellivision back in the day.
But yeah, I got it there. And then he said, if it doesn't work, I'm not helping you move it down. I'm like, okay. So I asked him, hey man, can you help me take this back? I'll buy you tacos. He's like, oh heck yeah.
For tacos.
Yep. And then he kind of when he started helping me unload it, it started to rain. And we got it in my car, and then he just looks at me like, dude, next time things work before you buy them. I'm like, I did.
That's funny. Now, Jimmy used to work at a.
I mean, I do again because I've just went.
So, what was the best thing you ever got there?
At work or at others?
Overall.
Oof. I got. It depends. I got most of the Indiana Jones Bantam novels one time.
Really?
Yeah, I had about half of them before the fire. I had a mint condition Empire Strikes Back book club edition from 1980 that I've
nice.
I did a lot of my Star Wars. I got a lot of the Star Wars hardcovers. Not a lot, but some from there. Let's see. I had a Super Nintendo that I bought for $16.50 that had Link to the Past, Super Mario World, and Final Fantasy III, which was pretty solid.
Nice.
I also got a GameCube with a Game Boy Advance adapter and disc for $40.
Shoot. I'll tell you the one thing I regret not getting. It was in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and it was the entire set for only $10 of Galaxy of Fear.
Oh yeah, I remember when.
And that was the last time I ever walked by a book like that, because I was like, oh, I already got this. And it was years ago, back before, I think I may have been doing a few videos, but I didn't realize how rare these books were because I already had them. I wasn't looking for them. And then I realized children's books, those are hard to get. And it was the entire set of Galaxy of Fear for $10. And could kick myself now because I know there's a lot of people who'd want that. Like I bought that hardback. I don't know who I gave that Lando hardback to. But I bought the second. I bought another Lando hardback. I found it for like $2 or $3. And then I bought some New Jet Order omnibuses. I can't remember who I gave those to either. But if it's a science fiction book club, 3-in-1 book, I'm picking it up. And I got those for cheap too, $2 each.
For like $8, I got a book that had all the Beatles music in it, and I was excited about that. And they had another one for like Elvis Presley. So, I mean,
nice.
That came in handy for my old job. So,
nice. God dang it! All
so
right.
You just reminded me to throw some counter offers in on some EU.
Yeah.
Before it goes bye some rare stuff.
There you go. Anyway, I gotta go. I can hear one of them rustling.
Yeah, I need to head to bed too. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
I'm sorry I was a little late. I got carried away in the conversation. I didn't know the guy wanted to ask me EU questions. I was talking to an old buddy of mine, and he had EU questions. I was like, oh, EU questions. Don't mind if I do. And we started talking about EU questions. Like, dude, I got to go. I got somewhere to be. He went at 11 o'clock. I said, yeah.
Well, thanks so much for so much for coming on, and thank you too, Jeremy, for coming on. And
thanks for having me and listening to my rant.
Oh yeah,
hey,
no problem.
Check out the Backpedalers podcast and check out the Star Wars podcast with him and Dylan. Oh yeah.
You can blame Matthew because we were supposed to record last weekend, and his wife decided he had to tile a kitchen.
If you're waiting on the Geek side to do something, you're in sad shape, my friend.
He has to make an apology for leading me astray and having the drunken podcast. He has to atone for him.
Anyway, Adam, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on, and thank you, Jeremy, and everybody in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us, and you guys have a great night, and we will see you next time. Bye.